YouTube up just in case. WWE. Buenos dias, everyone. ¿Cómo estás? Yo soy Le Simple Man Noah Foster, and welcome to our coverage of this free WWE, let's call it what it is, YouTube special live event. This is Worlds Collide, a presentation brought to us by WWE, NXT, AAA, their newest acquisition, and TNA. And we'll talk more about that here shortly. Welcome to the pre-show discussion. Welcome to the analysis. Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the coverage. Hello, everybody, and welcome back here once again to the Super Reliable Studios. You know what this is. As I just said, I am the Seminole Foster. With me, as always, I have somebody here in the color end of the spot. It is the WWE team extraordinaire. It's the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. We hope everybody enjoys our coverage, so please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. If you want to dictate the conversation, PayPal the passions, or Super Chat. It is truly as simple as that. I want to give a shout out real quick to our Spanish commentary team getting prepared with Mr. Reliable Walter Cruz and the Dominguez. So if you truly want a full coverage in Espanol, please check out their feed as well. That being said, JJ, good to see you once again, my friend. This should be fun. The first of 3, plus Saturday shenanigans. A fully packed Saturday ahead for us. Worlds Collide. How you feeling about this, and how's your day been so far?
You know, so far so good. I had a meh night's sleep because, different surroundings.
Of course.
It's always, you usually take a night to get adjusted to new surroundings. But got a respectable night's sleep, we'll say that. No worse than what I've been getting.
Fair enough.
But man, I woke up this morning, walked down the street, to the next light, got me some Carl's Jr. for breakfast.
Nice.
Came back to the room here, watched me a couple episodes of The Simpsons. And I'm really looking forward to this. And it was vintage Simpsons, too. Like, we're talking 1995 when they were still fucking good and hadn't gone off the rails yet.
Respect. Continue.
Like, I was literally finishing the 138th episode Spectacular when we came on the air here. So, but yeah, man, I am looking forward to this. Who would have thought 5 years ago, 3 years ago,
right,
that WWE would now own AAA and be doing business with the Lucha Libre powerhouse? I don't know if that's the right word. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure which is the bigger brand, if it's AAA or CMLL. I know AAA is the longer tenured brand. They're the WWE of Lucha Libre, if you will, having been around the longest. But I don't know if CMLL is more popular since they have the legendary Arena Mexico. So I'm not really sure which is the powerhouse there, but irrelevant.
Right.
4 brands are involved in today's show. And I know the banner on the official graphic only promotes WWE and AAA. We know NXT is being represented as the North American title is on the line. But something that a lot of people aren't talking about, and we discussed this a little bit privately yesterday, but something a lot of people aren't talking about is in that North American title match, which we'll go ahead and we'll discuss first.
Absolutely.
Javon Evans, NXT standout, Ray Fénix from Smackdown, WWE main roster, All Ego Ethan Page, the champion, obviously from NXT. But Laredo Kid is being lumped in with a bunch of the AAA talent, and he is not a contracted AAA talent. He is a contracted TNA talent. So in this one match, we bring TNA Total Nonstop Action into the fold as well to bring it to a quad-branded show.
Yeah, truly an inter-promotional warfare, to your point, and very well said. And I will say this, CMLL is the oldest promotion in Mexico,
Oh,
while
okay.
AAA has been around since 1992, the year I was born. They actually went on a brief hiatus before they came back in 2014 with that logo you see now. That's not even the original logo. But to your point, Laredo Kid is no stranger to AAA. He is currently the AAA World Cruiserweight Champion. In fact, he just recently defended that in a Fatal 4-Way match. Last time we did see Laredo Kid, though, was involved in the #1 contendership Fatal 4-Way in TNA, where, of course, he teamed up alongside it was Laredo Kid and contendership 4-Way. He was just a singles person. I'm trying to figure of his tag team that he's been. Aztec Warriors with Octagón Jr. That's it. But Laredo Kid was involved previously in a #1 contendership Fatal 4-Way tag team match, representing his team on his own. Since then, and losing, of course, to the Rascals, he now here in basically California at Worlds Collide to become a champion NXT against all ego of and Page. And of course, we know the history of his other opponents, especially the one that's bouncy in Javon Evans, as well as, of course, Ray Fénix, former AAA Mega Champion. Previously, of course, was involved, as we saw recently at WrestleMania, and lost to a loaded mass. I'll leave that alone. We also saw Ethan Page interrupt things when Javon Evans made his debut on SmackDown with Ray Fénix, and basically turned this into a fair four to be an absolute brick of science for the NXT North American Championship. Of course, champion only has a 25% chance to retain the title here. Literally a 25% chance he still comes out with the championship. So heavy disadvantage going in. But the unfamiliarity, I think, for Ethan Page might come down to that, in my knowledge, he barely has been involved with Ray Fénix. Of course, he knows Laredo Kid a little bit, and Javon Evans, they've been fighting forever in your NXT since I can remember. So this is a very unique melting pot of not only 4 different promotions, but when you think about it, 4 completely different styles. While Laredo Kid and Ray Fénix might be similar in a way, we've seen Ray Fénix kind of adapt to the WWE style, not to mention he was involved in AEW.
Yeah, I was going to say, wouldn't Ray and Ethan Page have had encounters during their AEW days? You know, the Men of the Year and the Lucha Bros?
I think the Lucha Bros and the Man of the Year did have an altercation, but most of the Man of the Year messed around with Sting and Darby Allin, to say the least. Good to see you, man.
Fair enough.
Good to see you. Good to see you. We're doing very well. And shout out to my friend Sandy, as I talked about, of course, him up in those promotion started back in the 1930s, before any of us was born. And also, JJ, big congratulations to you on getting Spanish commentary.
You know, it's something we've discussed for a long time here on even going back to the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media and then the transition over to Simply Reliable Studios. We always talked about doing it for big shows like WrestleMania, All In, you know, the tentpole shows. We need to do a Spanish commentary. And for whatever reason, we just have never been able to pull the trigger. With Worlds Collide, AAA, broadcast in Spanish as well as English on YouTube, this was the perfect time to do it. And shout out to the Domingai, Los Dominguez, for being willing to step into the booth for the first time ever.
Oh, man.
Alongside Mr. Reliable Walter Cruz to do the damn thing. You know, they've been such big supporters of all of ours, but especially the two of us, Noah. So the way that they super chat to embarrass you on regular basis, and you know, they subscribe to the members only side of my channel. We had to offer that olive branch to them. I originally reached out to Datilla, but she's going to be at both shows.
Oh, wow.
So she was unable to do it, and the next people I thought of were the Dominguezes. So hopefully they have a blast. But this match could go a number of ways. The only person that I don't think is going to win this is Ray Fénix.
I do agree about that, because he's on SmackDown.
Yeah, but I could see Javon Evans taking this, like Christopher thinks, because like I was telling you yesterday, the heavy rumor is that they want to move the title to Javon, and they didn't want to do face versus face with Ricky and Javon. That
Yes.
wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. So
Right.
they did the move to Ethan Page to move the title to Javon. However, a TNA star, or excuse me, an NXT star is holding the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for Laredo Kid to walk away with this either and give a TNA star the NXT North American title, if even for a couple of weeks until Great American Bash, and have Javon Evans take the title from Laredo Kid at Great American Bash.
It's a fair shout out. Of course, we got Great American Bash next month, and as we talked about, Javon Evans and Ethan Page have literally turned each other's grins upside down. Let's forget going back to Roadblock in that street fight, and even going back further than that to Vengeance Day when he literally re-broke Javon Evans' jaw, since Ethan Page has literally made sure that Javon couldn't smile since losing out of the Iron Survivor Challenge back at Deadline. So I do understand what you're saying, but also Rey Fénix, Laredo Kid, no strangers to each other in AAA. Like I said, Rey Fénix is a former AAA, not just tag team champion, but of course, World Cruiserweight champion, Latin American champion, and of course, the most recognized title, which we'll talk about here, the AAA Mega Championship. And again, the Laredo Kid, he's already a Cruiserweight champion as well. So I expect a lot more of mingling, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, with Rey Fénix and the Laredo Kid versus Javon Evans and any combination of those two. Because I think it's going to be one of those things where I talk about multi-person matches, buffer, fall person, and you got an extra component in the mix. You have a story or a plot point. And to your point, I think it does break down eventually to Ethan Page versus Javon Evans. What does that mean for Rey Fénix and Laredo Kid? Maybe eventually they'll go one-on-one against each other for the AAA Cruiserweight Championship. But either way, I do think Ethan Page is going to retain. And I want to give a shout real quick to the 11 of you that joined in the fun, as I made inform. They joined in my little predictions exhibition. And right now it's 91% in favor of all Ego Ethan Page, while 9% did pick your boy that's bouncy, Javon Evans. No one picked Laredo Kid or Rey Fénix.
Well, I didn't see the form, but go ahead and put me down for Javon Evans as well.
Wow.
And what's up, Pop? Good to see you in the chat. Do me a favor, Pop. Make sure you bounce over to the Spanish commentary stream and show a bit of love to them. We're doing our first Spanish language commentary stream, as well as me and Noah being here for the English stream. So bounce over there real quick like Javon Evans, show them some love, and come back.
Right?
I'm sure they'd love to see you pop in there and support them as well.
Yeah, and again, shout out again to everybody here that makes this possible. Not just those of us on the screen, but all of you in the chat, all of that are watching along for the first time continuing, because again, you are the ones that allowed the passion to continually progress and perpetuate. So thank you all once again. All right, well, let's go ahead and switch things up. Why don't we talk about the only women's showcase? And considering one woman... No?
The women get saved for later. You know, let's get to one of the 6-man tags.
Okay. Which one do you want to talk about?
We'll go ahead and we'll talk about this one, because this was kind of the last minute addition to the card. The LWO versus Aerostar, Octagón Jr. and Mr. Iguana. It's not even going to be the full LWO, unfortunately, as during the speed taping, Joaquin Wilde suffered an injury.
Oh, damn it.
Out of action, being replaced by Lince Dorado. So it's not even going to be the full LWO here, which sucks, because you got to figure Joaquin Wilde was really looking forward to this stage and this moment and this opportunity to shine.
Oh, no doubt.
But something that I do want to touch on here, and again, I mentioned this to you off air yesterday, but Octagón Jr., who is not the son of the original Octagon, nor is he the first person to carry the Octagón Jr. name, BTW.
Exactly.
Octagón Jr., the original Octagon, was actually on the original Worlds Collide that AAA did back with WCW. I want to say that was 1994. And it was El Hijo de Santo and Octagon versus the team of Los Gringos Locos, which was Art Barr and one Eddie Guerrero. Eddie
Viva la Raza.
Guerrero, of course, the leader of the LWO later on in WCW. So this really has the makings of a full circle moment here. And it's, again, something I haven't seen or heard a lot of people talk about. You know, the original Octagon, Eddie Guerrero, Octagon Jr., LWO, you know, it's the circle of life, if you will.
It does feel like a full circle moment when you think about it, considering who leads right now, of course, the LWO and Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero's best friend and honestly his greatest rival. Also no stranger to WCW, of course, as he and Eddie Guerrero redefined the cruiserweight division back in those days. But to your point, it is one of those things where I do feel bad, but it still is a very unique melting pot. Mr. Iguana, by the way, is currently the AAA World Mixed Tag Team Champion with La Hiedra, and he's been involved in AAA since 2019. It's interesting seeing Aerostar back here because I haven't seen or heard of Aerostar since, of course, Lucha Underground. And as you talk about, of course, with Cruz del Toro and Lince, Dragon Lee and Lince Dorado, again, to Joaquin while they get well soon. Dragon Lee, of course, no stranger as well. Former IWGP Juniorweight Champion, former AAA Cruiserweight Heavyweight Champion, and Lince Dorado. People might remember that name from Lucha House Party back on 205 Live in a bygone era of WWE. And it almost makes me think that this
I know about that because that was during the time when I didn't watch wrestling. So that little education point there. I had heard of Lucha House Party, but I wasn't sure who all was members of it. So somebody that has history with WWE, you know, stayed in the peripheral for WWE, was an easy contact when the space opened up.
Well, and, you know, it's one of those things where and anyway, yeah,
you're good. Go ahead and make your point. I'm just saying it made sense because I was unfamiliar with the connection there.
Oh, I got you. And of course, Lince Dorado, he for a little while was going along freelancing. Former 24/7 champion, by the way. Former MLW World Middleweight champion. And I believe he recently showed up in TNA at one point, answering open challenges to the likes of Trey Miguel when he was the X Division champion. So this is kind of interesting to see Lince Dorado here. He also played a part in the WWE Evolved title play-in triple threat, of course, with Jordan Oasis and Jackson Drake, for those that keep up with Evolved. Shout out to the Prime Minister, Stevie Turner. And believe it or not, he was also involved in a dark match on your NXT with Draco Knox. I believe that's also somebody from LFG, but I don't know all the people there. And also Dion Lennox and Josh Black. So he's been putting in the work. So again, they've definitely kept ties with him. I remember his matches with the likes of Rich Swann. So he's definitely going to be one of the people to watch out for here. But I'm just really curious to see what happens when Dragon Lee and Aerostar mix it up again, because I know that they have familiar history. But it's one of those things where at the end of the day, it is an interpromotional showcase, JJ. But WWE is the bigger player. You kind of got to give it to the LWO in this case.
See, I don't know, because I feel like the six-mans are going to get split 50-50.
I do as well, but
I'm not sure if the LWO is going to get this one, considering the fact that Joaquin Wilde is out, or if it's going to go to the Legado del Fantasma, as Santos and Berto have been having their issues and needing to try to solidify that they are still a strong family.
It's a fair point. Well,
so I'm going with the AAA contingent here, just because throwing Lince Dorado into the mix, you don't know what the chemistry is going to be between the LWO contingent.
Well,
it's a random, you know.
I see what you mean when it comes to that experience, but again, like I said, all these men in the NWO, they were on 205 Live, so they do have that familiarity there, and I do think that's going to call back. But I think, to your point, it is going to be split. But I think why the LWO is going to win here I think the opposition in our other tag match, and we'll go ahead and segue real quick into that. How about a little bit of cause and effect? I think that the other contingency is going to outlast Legado del Fantasma. Let's talk about that real quick with Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Psycho Clown, who at one point literally risked his own mask and hair for those that watch AAA, and Pagano. And of course, we know Santos Escobar calls himself the Emperor of Lucha Libre, literally took his mask off when he arrived in my NXT and formed Legado del Fantasma and reformed it during your NXT. And they've been kind of on SmackDown doing their own thing, but lost in the shuffle with the tag team picture. Why Andrade La Sombra, he might be recruiting maybe for his own familia for all we know. So, again, why I think the LWO is going to win the last match, I think here, honestly, we might be surprised, and we could see the AAA contingency win here. But what's your thoughts on this six-person match? And Legado del Fantasma in general? Because at the end of the day, WWE is still a battleground of Lucha Libre warfare. It's Raw, it's SmackDown, it's LWO, it's Legado del Fantasma. We've seen these families butt heads, even on WrestleMania. I mean, if one doesn't win, you got to imagine the other one's going to stay in a cage, transfer portal, LOL aside. What do you think about this, though?
All right, so going all the way back to the start of Not Your NXT, when I first came into things.
Yes.
The bygone Rainbow Bride era. When it was the Legado del Fantasma, Santos, Joaquin, and Cruz.
Yes.
Versus the D'Angelo family. I was all about the Legado. I was Legado through and through because as entrenched as I am in the family, nowadays, it took a long time for me to come around because much like a lot of people, I thought bootleg FBI, bootleg Mama Luke's, bootleg this. And I just wasn't feeling it at first. But it was the rivalry with the Legado and what the Legado was able to bring out of Tony D and Stax that really made me appreciate them as performers beyond the gimmick. So I've kind of been ride or die with the Legado del Fantasma from day one-ish, at least for me watching. Now, granted, the Legado has gone through membership changes. Obviously, we've got Angel and Berto now. Joaquin and Cruz are LWO. Gone is Elektra Lopez. She'll actually be on the House of Glory Puerto Rican weekend later on tonight that James and Walter will be calling as Carissa Rivera, taking on the virtuosa Diana Purrazzo. Long may she fucking reign.
Damn it.
And actually get some goddamn television time, Tony Khan. I'm looking at you, fucker. I'm looking at you. Give her some goddamn television time.
Tranquilo, mi hermano, tranquilo. Plus, she also will be involved with her husband taking on Killer Kelly, and Myra Reed at Wrestling Revolve, which we will be covering here very soon in the future. Please continue.
But, like I was kind of mentioning when we were talking about the other six-man match, the Legado has been going through familial struggles. The Legado have been on a massive losing streak lately. And it wasn't until a couple of weeks ago where finally they were able to get a victory. And it kind of brought Berto back into things a little bit because him and Santos have been kind of butting heads. And for those of you that can't keep them, separated, as it took a while for me to differentiate the two. Angel has the long hair, Berto has the short hair.
See.
But when Berto was able to get the victory in that match, you kind of started to see the trust and the bond kind of strengthen again. And I think they need to, if they're going to keep them as a trio and as a stable and as a unit, they need to keep that momentum going. So, and out of all the luchas on this show, I know the least about any of the ones on this match.
I'll tell you this much. A couple of them wrestle hardcore only, including Pagano. So reckless abandonment is definitely going to be the story here in this match.
You know, the only one I know a little bit about is Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., as I've seen him a little bit in some of the WrestleMania shit that we did this past year.
Previously involved in Pro Wrestling Noah in a feud over the GHC National Championship, as my friend Sandy pointed out. That actually was the first time when I got familiar with him. Of course, I also look at his brother Galano Jr. as well. But please continue.
So for this one, I'm going with Legado officially.
Well,
and if you didn't put me down, the other one, I'm going with Team AAA officially.
Well, then I guess you and I are kind of going to be like opposites here, because it's just one of those things where I do think a AAA team is going to win, but now that you put that in perspective, it almost makes me think they are going to give it to both families in WWE. And it almost feels like, to me, the LWO is going to be safe no matter what. But to your point, Legado Fantasma doesn't lose here. Santos Escobar might literally cutthroat his family. So I think I'm going to have to kind of agree with you here in this case scenario and say that originally I thought they were going not to, but I think now they are going to. And also, it looks like a majority are actually going with El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown, while only 18% went with Legado del Fantasma. So someone tells me they either know more about El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. that meets the eye, or they think that Legado del Fantasma, much to you what you think might happen if they don't win, might finally separate. So we'll see. All right. Well, that being said, now let's go ahead and talk about the women, because real quick, everyone send prayers and last rites to Walter Cruz, because I don't know how he's going to, A, survive calling this JJ, and B, survive watching this. Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice, his mamacita, has taken on two of the oldest veterans of AAA currently, both of which have history with La Primera, Dalys and Chik Tormenta. Dalys and Chik Tormenta, by the way, they are no strangers to working together as a tag team. They've also been involved in trios action. In fact, Dalys and Stephanie Vaquer, they used to tag together in AAA. There's only been one time that Stephanie Vaquer and Chik Tormenta have actually met each other one-on-one in the ring, and it wasn't in AAA. It's the first time we're ever seeing Stephanie and Lola work together. And to my knowledge, I don't think Lola Vice and Stephanie JJ had a one-on-one match in NXT. So there's definitely some mutual respect there. But again, the history here, Lola Vice transitioning from the world of MMA, has no prior background in professional wrestling or lucha libre since transitioning to NXT. So what do you think here, considering that La Primera is working double duty today? Your thoughts on this women's tag match? Ay, ay, ay.
Well, first of all, let me give a big shout out to La Primera, the Dark Angel Stephanie Vaquer, the only person to be pulling double duty here tonight.
Right.
As your point, she's working this, and she's in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Only person within WWE pulling double duty here today. Huge shout out for her. That just goes to show how much faith the WWE has in the Dark Angel. Lola Vice is here simply because she hasn't done jack diddly shit for pretty much the last 6 months and wants to be on TV. So, and if Stephanie and Lola win, what's the benefit? You know, it's not like they're going to be a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
Lola's still in NXT. Stephanie's on the main roster now on Raw. But I could see today being a huge day for Stephanie Vaquer, as she is my second choice for the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Which you all can still have your predictions, by the way, till 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. The form is across all social medias and my no DQ. Please continue.
So I've got La Primera and Lola Vice getting the W here, as it is officially showtime now. Let's get our streams loaded.
As right now I'm getting my stream loaded, it looks like Rey Mysterio is narrating our cold opener here. And I will say this real quick. If Dalys and Chik Tormenta are going to be involved more in NXT, and we're going to see Lola Vice try to reset things. I do agree that Lola Vice definitely need the win. Here's one thing I know that's not going to happen. I do not see La Primera Stella Vaquer either a decision or a pinfall here. I do see Lola Vice possibly knocking out one of the two, or one of the two getting the better of her. To your point, Lola Vice recently not found Henry the F out, and she was also involved in tag team action against Fiddle Influence with Carmen Petrovic and lost. So I think Lola Vice definitely needs to prove something to herself here. And I do think Lola Vice and Steve McCurl are going to get the better of Chik Tormenta and Dalys tonight. By the way, congratulations to Chik Tormenta on becoming the new WoW Wrestling Women's Champion, beating the Classmaster. Good for her. All right. Well, we got a cold opener going on here as Rey Mysterio is narrating Worlds Collide. So, folks, please stay tuned with us as we are going to talk more about what has got to be the main event here very shortly. The AAA Mega Championship held by the new champion, thank the Lord. Of course, I am talking about Hijo del Vikingo taking on Chad Gable. Keyword, Chad Gable. Again, the confusion, I'm just going to leave that alone here. Why we got a cold opener at JJ? Go ahead and give your thoughts towards this before the first bell rings.
You know, I feel like WWE got this all mixed up. This should be the El Grande Americano versus El Hijo del Vikingo. Chad Gable should be in Money in the Bank. It is what it is. I almost wonder if Vikingo didn't beat Alberto El Patron just to be transitional champion here. As much as I think it would piss people off, WWE has been all about pissing people off as of late.
Accurate.
So I'm going to go ahead and lodge my official pick for Vikingo, but I would not be surprised if Chad Gable walks away with this.
Well, we are in the City of Angels, and this is where you either make your success or you're left to irrelevancy, as we got an overhead shot of your ridiculous expressways in Los Angeles, California, the 405 and everything else aside. There you see Beverly Hills and the LA downtown skyline and the fans filing in to the fabulous Forum. Of course, that previously was the home of AEW Dynamite that you, of course, saw last year in January, ironically. As tonight, or should I say this afternoon, WWE and AAA bring you this special free show here on YouTube. You can watch some of us. This is Worlds Collide. And speaking of luchadors, there is Lucha Libre legend and WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, and Walter just passed out. As you see, Stella Vaquer and Lola Vice walking in, that will be in tag team match against Dalys and Chik Tormenta. Again, so much ahead. I hope everyone enjoys our coverage, the reactions, and I agree with you. I think that Hijo del Vikingo is going to retain. I think also we wouldn't be surprised to see Chad Gable knocked out. And then you might see literally a Grande Americano talk about how Chad Gable got knocked down, won't be seen on Monday Night Raw. But again, Hijo del Vikingo, the new AAA Mega Champion, beating Alberto El Patron. He defends that title this afternoon, and that will be our main event here at Worlds Collide. That being said, folks, welcome to the show. Let's go ahead and get ready to get into things. Again, buenos dias, buenos, whatever you want to say here. The Super Reliable Studios. Again, we don't have El Legado, the Lucha Libre Spanish commentators on the other side, but it's me. It's JJ Williams. We, of course, are your WWE commentary team for all the specials, PLEs, pay-per-views, and we'll be back later tonight with Money in the Bank. But we're here giving you English coverage of WWE Worlds Collide. So, JJ, are you ready to go? And it looks like Corey Graves and Conan are going to be the commentary for this special here.
Nice. I'm a little bit behind you. I'm just now seeing Corey and Conan.
I got you.
But
here.
Don't worry about it, because there's issues where I am. So if we try to sync up, we'll just end up out of sync again. But don't trip. You're ahead of me. That's where it needs to be. Really quickly, reminder to Cape Rayer, if you want to dictate the conversation, super chat. We are here to talk PLE and do commentary today. Either super chat if you want our thoughts about that right now, or wait for 8 hours until we go to shenanigans, because that will be a topic point.
And I want to give a shout again to our Spanish commentary team, not only here at the show, of course, but of course Walter Cruz and the Dominguez as they give you a full-on Spanish reactions to Worlds Collide.
You know what? I think this is perfect because the English commentary duo is Conan and Corey Graves. So that's me and you. And the Spanish team is a trio, and our Spanish team is a trio. It how we booked it perfectly.
We go inside the ring with Shawn
Jesus,
Michaels.
HBK, put a hat on, a sombrero. Jesus Christ.
Oh, come on
Your
now. He's
old
fine.
is showing, bro.
The president of AAA, of course, is in the ring with Shawn Michaels here as we get ready to kick things off with this one-of-a-kind, unique event. They've got Triple H and Daniel Barrera. I believe she's going to sing the national anthem. Oh, the Mexican one. Yeah, look at that. The Mexican national anthem.
That's awesome. Triple H in the ring as well. Is that Blue Demon next to him?
I think so, yes.
I saw Psycho Clown.
I love the pyramid set, by the way.
Was that Laredo Kid there in the blue?
That
on
was.
the other side of that image?
That was.
Still trying to familiarize myself with some of the luchadors. Apologize if you guys feel like I'm disrespecting the anthem here.
We begin. We begin.
I feel like the only markets they could have done this in is California or Texas.
You're probably right, with all due respect to America's actual knowledge of the world. And of course, we know California.
Maybe Arizona, New Mexico, because it's right there, you know, but I think California and Texas are probably the only markets. Lillian, yay!
And now, will you please rise for the American National Anthem? no one to this day in WWE history has sung our national anthem with more power and grace than Lillian Garcia. As we welcome in Rey Mysterio as we get ready to kick things off here shortly on Worlds Collide. What a phenomenal rendition by Lillian Garcia. God bless that she hasn't lost her touch.
Moving around pretty good for someone who got injured not that long ago.
Well, it's not like he's wrestling. As Lillian Garcia, let's keep in mind, for those that don't know, Lillian Garcia is also a very proud Latina, as you hear her introducing Rey Mysterio in Espanol. Rey Mysterio is also the recipient of the Legend Impact Award, courtesy of the National Hispanic Media Council, and rightfully so. JJ, we can talk about Rey Mysterio and his impact on Lucha Libre for decades to come. Not only in WWE, but in Mexico, in Japan, in WCW, in Lucha Underground, in any promotion. If you think Lucha Libre, you owe a nod to this luchador right here.
Yeah, I mean, it's been said that Conan was the Hulk Hogan of Lucha Libre wrestling. But if Conan was the Hulk Hogan, Rey Mysterio, God, has got to be like the Shawn Michaels of Lucha Libre wrestling. Like, you cannot think about modern day Lucha Libre without thinking about Rey Mysterio Jr. And I always try to remember to put the Jr. on that because his uncle was the original Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio Jr., originally known as Calibre, which means hummingbird, until he was given the nod and the mask by his uncle when he felt it was time. You know, and you listed off all of the companies. One you forgot, and a lot of people forget, Rey Mysterio was in ECW for a cup of coffee, the real ECW.
The original, yes.
When Eric Bischoff came in and took Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Paul Heyman brought in Rey Mysterio, Psicosis, Juventud Guerrera, and introduced American audiences for the first time to Lucha Libre wrestling. Let's hear what the man has to say.
And I'm probably going to speak in Espanol. How hyped up is Rey Mysterio tonight? I'll tell you what, this must have been a dream for him to see. There's a chance for being out loud and proud here from the Fabulous Forum. Years ago. Wow. I think I was like 2 years old back then.
I love the red, white, and green ropes there.
And notice, by the way, the larger turnbuckle pads as well.
They may just look larger because there's no branding on them to take away.
Possibly. Rey Mysterio, by the way, for those that don't know, he has now been in the business for 36 years.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know much Spanish, but I believe he was talking about how 31 years ago here in LA was the original Worlds Collide.
That is correct.
San Diego Zone.
See the evolution and be part, of course, of Lucha Libre. Rey Mysterio, former 3-time United States champion, WWE World Heavyweight Champion, twice. Former Lucha Underground Trios champion with Dragon Azteca Jr. and Prince Puma.
Ooh, Prince Puma. I know who that is. Apologies for being so silent. Rey Mysterio is speaking in Spanish, and we don't really understand Spanish.
And I speak a little bit of English, I think. Talking about what he loved since he was a kid. Lucha Libre. A rousing ovation for California's own Rey Mysterio sent the crowd in fuego with a celebration of Lucha Libre to unfold tonight on this one-of-a-kind interpromotional presentation, Worlds Collide. I can imagine how many of those people are actually going to go to Money in the Bank also as soon as this thing's over.
Yep. Which means that you got to figure this show is going to go about 2.5 hours to give an hour and a half to get people to the next venue.
Oh, no doubt. It looks like we're kicking off with trios action.
Okay, Mr. Iguana.
Aero Star and Octagón Jr. I love that Lily because he has introducing stuff in Espanol. That is awesome. We talked about before, after we're going to kick things off here, we talked about how we got two trios match here, of course, with the two Lucha Libre factions of WWE. Rey Mysterio, no stranger to many of these men that we're going to see on this card tonight. I remember Rey Mysterio and Aerostar used to mix it up Lucha Underground.
There you go. Probably doing this one first since Rey Mysterio is the leader of the LWO. That way he doesn't have to try to come back out here later on if he is still kind of banged up.
You makes me wonder, is he going to be here presenting the AAA Mega Championship for our main event? I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think Conan might do that since he is the head booker of AAA.
That's a fair point as well. Beautiful moment being shared here with Rey Mysterio right now and these incredible luchadors.
Nice embrace there. Is that Octagón Jr. that's hugging him?
I believe that is. We'll get more to that here in a moment. So here comes the LWO.
Let me just say here, slightly off topic, the chat room on the live stream, no chill. I am seeing so many "We Want Truths" go up in the chat there.
Oh, dear.
Not even funny.
And again, WWE morale is in a different state of mind, but at the end of the day, the show must go on and you got to continue to do your job.
Okay, so Lince Dorado's got like a cat mask. Now I know who he is.
Yeah, he also used to call himself Lucha Lit, if you want to believe in that. Again, formerly part of the
vaguely remember seeing that mask now in like, not necessarily like old WWE stuff, but like, you know, different matches here and there. But now I know who Lince Dorado is. And to Sandy's point earlier, Lince Dorado is still masked. Oh, Liv Morgan and Dirty Dom Dom.
Hey.
Lince Dorado is still masked. Just the graphic that we have still shows Joaquin Wilde because he was injured this past week.
Yeah.
I want to say it was on Monday night or on Friday night. So this is very much a last minute change in adding Lince Dorado. They just didn't have time to update the graphics.
Let's see what happens here with this unique threesome. Again, we got to keep in mind that here, JJ, as I overheard Conan literally talking about what we're here discussing. To those that don't know, this is not American wrestling. This is a style of its own. This is Mexican wrestling. This is Lucha Libre. Expect high, fast-paced, high risk, and a little bit of Yabe style on the mat. Of course, trained by the likes of, or endorsed by the likes of Angelico in AEW and Hechicero.
One of the biggest differences in Lucha Libre wrestling, and we'll probably see it very early on here, American wrestling, it's traditional to work the left side. Lucha Libre, it's traditional to work the right. So that's one of the biggest differences, and that was one of the things that always threw me off when I was wrestling because I'm right-handed. So it's so instinctual to go to the right. And people would always tell me, no, you got to go to the left. You got to go to the left. You're working a lucha style, not the normal style. And I'm like, it doesn't feel normal, to go to the left because I'm a righty.
Yeah, I can relate to
So
that.
that's something a lot of people are probably going to notice, or maybe they wouldn't notice unless we call it out here.
But to your point right
The
now,
style, they work the right and not the left.
Right now, I think Cruz del Toro is in here with the shoulder block.
Yes. Cruz del Toro, the only unmasked wrestler in the match.
About to say.
It's very easy to know which one is Cruz del Toro.
Fair enough. Exchange here with the leverage of the backslide. Both men looking for the arm drag, and both men tied up. And of course, both these men, a lot of these men that we're going to see now are very familiar with each other, and that's going to be briefly talked about during our countdown pre-show discussion. Well, here we go. Stalemate in the early going. Octagón Jr. and Cruz del Toro keeping up with each other here. Mexican chain wrestling at its finest. Now we have Iguana Jr. and
Lince Dorado.
Yep, Lucha Lit himself.
Ironically, Noah, the last time I was in this venue, I saw the Death Triangle versus the Elite in that ladder match.
Yeah, Rey Fénix, Penta, Silmier, both now part of WWE, and the Bastard Pac, who of course took on the Elite at the time, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks in the Best of 7 series. Freaking ladder match.
So, got to see a little bit of lucha wrestling, and Rey Fénix, who will be on the bill a little bit later on in that North American title match in this very venue.
You're talking about the history of Lucha Libre. You're talking about the history of wrestling you've seen in that venue. Of course, that's gone through many a name change. It's still the Fabulous Forum. Shout out to the
It'll always be the Fabulous Forum to those of us that know. Originally the Great Western Forum, now the Kia Forum. But for those of us longtime Cali residents, it'll always be the Fabulous Forum. Yeah, and honestly, that's the only wrestling I've ever seen in that building was that one AEW show.
And now it's like everything's in that freaking building now for wrestling. It's crazy. So Dorado taking over, and Iguana Jr. now might be looking to make the wait a minute. What's he looking for here? Is he pointing to that?
Pointing to Aerostar.
No, he's pointing.
Or no, he wants the Iguana.
Well, it may be legal in Mexico, but I don't know if that's legal here in America. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, it's not a real iguana; it's a puppet. Mr.
Right
Iguana here going Harley Cameron here, and the Iguana's got Lince's hand, jump up, springboard moonsault into an arm drag.
What the hell? Up on the shoulder though, Lince Dorado, rebound, an arm drag by Iguana.
They're calling it Liasca.
Yeah, of course, the art of Lucha Libre. A lot of Spanish name moves are going to be coming out here tonight. Nice drop down there. The Iguana in the cover.
Well, that's the name of the Iguana, I guess, is Liasca.
I believe you are correct.
Liasca got the cover there for a 1 count.
Very unorthodox style, Iguana Jr.
And now Lince Dorado petting Mr. Iguana.
We got Iguana chants. Ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not, there are Iguana chants raining out here at the Fabulous Forum. Tag made to Aerostar. And here we go. Tag made to former Ryu Lee, Dragon Lee, former NXT North American champion. Been a long time seeing these two tie up.
Show of respect here before they start to tie up.
You notice how everyone here started with a show of respect. They know how important this event is, not just to AAA and WWE, but to Lucha Libre heresy and history itself. The legacy of Mexican wrestling.
With the exception of the 2 title matches, there's really no storyline in any of these. It's just, showcases. The North American title, obviously there's history between Javon and Ethan Page, so there's not going to be any kind of respect there. And Chad Gable has had issues with Lucha Libre going back the last, better part of a year. So there's not going to be any respect with him and Vikingo. We've seen Vikingo come in and interact with Chad Gable and El Grande Americano on multiple occasions. But the other 3 matches are just showcases. So there's no reason for there to be no respect.
Nice springboard corkscrew cross body for a 1 count there by Aerostar. Aerostar, of course, you all might remember from Lucha Underground. With a super kick upside down. Like a boot in his jaw. Now Dragon Lee. This is the first time we're seeing, oh my! Dragon Lee and Aerostar ever compete against each other. Swing and a miss, and Octagón and Iguana taking down the LWO.
Stereo Hurricane Ranas.
And now Stereo Topes! Cordialos!
Ooh, like Lince was not up to catch him there. That could have been nasty.
And you saw Aerostar takes out Dragon Lee, though, shutting him as far as he could up the entranceway. This is Lucha Libre. Let's take a look at the replay here. Well, Aerostar getting some frequent flyer miles here in California, driving Dragon Lee up and over on the ramp.
Well, it wasn't a long-distance flight, so probably didn't get that many miles. And shout out to Conan getting out his Ole, arriba la raza.
I knew he was going to do that at least once tonight. I mean, Conan, talk about keeping it real with this guy that's been around the block a few times.
Conan and that is about as infamous as Booker T with his shucky ducky quack quack.
Well, at least one has more relevancy to it. Aerostar right now,
damn,
of course.
Dog, come on, be nice. We ain't even got to deal with Booker tonight, man.
That's fine. I'll be a little nice because he's not on commentary. And right now, Cruz del Toro, tag man with Dorado, nice springboard moonsault. Now Lince Dorado's in. And just dive and splash.
Off the bottom rope, by the way.
Well, it doesn't take a whole lot of leverage for a luchador to fly, if we're being perfectly honest here. If anyone's going to fly off the bottom
but most moonsaults are usually done off of the middle or the top rope because you've got to make sure you get enough bounce to get the revelation. Yeah, nice backstabber there by Lince Dorado.
Got a 2 count.
2 count on Aerostar. But you got to make sure you get enough height to get the rotation there. So most of the time you don't do the moonsault off the bottom rope. So that just goes to show the agility and the athleticism there.
Ooh! Jumping knee strike by Dragon Lee.
Nice trick shot there by Dragon Lee.
Follow up drop kick by Aerostar. Dragon Lee and Aerostar are both down right now. Critical moment here in this opening trios match. That big knee, to your point, right on the jaw, rocked Aerostar. Aerostar might be seeing stars right now. A tag made to the world.
Really need a tag.
You're right. And tag made to Iguana. Changing blows with Iguana. How you beat a reptile. Knife edge chop. Oof. Real knife edge chop there by Cruz del Toro's receipt. Sweeping out in between the ropes. Bringing up now to the top rope. Split leg.
I thought that was a botch at first, but the way Cruz del Toro recovered, even if it was this great athleticism. And did you notice Cruz getting booed there when he chopped Iguana? The fans heavily into Mr. Iguana here.
And right now we got Cruz del Toro taking Iguana all around the ring here, disorientating him. Now for the cover, hooked in their leg and gets a 2 count.
This is different. I'm so used to the LWO getting cheered, and hearing Cruz del Toro get booed here.
Again, it's one of those things where I do think you're going to have a heavy...
Poison Rana, maybe?
Oh!
No.
Wow. Rana.
Well, from the positioning, you can understand it looked like he was getting ready for one.
Again, the Iguana back in as Lince Dorado now caught in the grips of the Iguana. Escalera stepping up to the top rope. Look at that! What the hell? Well, Dorado just murdered an animal.
And an elbow drop to the Iguana there.
Oh, and a moonsault! What the hell? The animality, JJ! And look at the Iguana! He's furious! Oh boy. That swing and a miss, up and around, takeover. What in the world? Whoa! Beautiful tilt-a-whirl spin.
Holy shit! Do you hear this crowd coming alive for Mr. Iguana, Noah?
Yes, I do. I knew I was going to be in something unique, JJ, but I didn't know it was going to be this unique. The 3-on-1 right now. The Iguana handed up to Cruz del Toro, handed up to Dragon Lee, handed on to Lince Dorado, handed back to Iguana. All right. Oh! Well, that's Mounds American as it gets. Triple super kick. Here comes Lince with the double cutter. Off the handspring. Excuse me, stunner. I'm all flabbergasted. I just called it Iguana of Wrestling. Oh! Now on the outside now, Iguana hung up on the top rope. Says Dragon Lee with the double stomp. And Dragon Lee looking to fly over the top. Wipes out Octagón Jr. There's a guy we've been talking about a lot here. Smashed by Lince and Dorado. Covered by Cruz del Toro. Aerostar breaks it up. Woo. Is this what you expected, JJ, when we were going to call this crazy madness?
I had no idea what to expect because, again, I am not really familiar with most of the luchadors here.
Tag.
You know, Octagón Jr., vaguely.
Yeah.
El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., vaguely. Vikingo, quite a bit. Laredo Kid, quite a bit. Everybody else is like an anomaly to me. I had no idea what Mr. Iguana was going to bring to the table. As a matter of fact, I just looked at him and I was like, this dude is a comedy character, which he is.
Right.
Which he is. But to have a stuffed iguana, I want to see Lieska versus Minnie Monet, damn it.
Okay, let's try it. Well, I mean, she's also Latina too. Right now, one's flying. And Cruz del Toro walking the roads with a shotgun drop kick. Good Lord.
And you got to figure, again, Joaquin Wilde's got to be sitting at home watching this, just so sad that he isn't able to participate in this.
And unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast that is this professional wrestling business where you're on the edge of a lightning bolt. Aerostar! Wiping out Dragon Lee with the step-up splash of sorts. And Cruz
hoping that Joaquin Wilde has a very speedy recovery.
Yeah, same, absolutely. I don't wish any ill on anybody in this business. Now Cruz del Toro, what's he thinking here?
Not even Mr. Stone?
Jury's out on that. Let's go, Lara! Corkscrew plunger!
Jesus. You know what? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise, and I only say that because Joaquin Wilde, having come from TNA, I always kind of preferred him to Cruz del Toro anyway. And him being out of this, Cruz del Toro is definitely getting that opportunity to get some shine. Where he doesn't usually. So it might be a little bit of a blessing in disguise that Joaquin is out. Spanish fly possibly here.
Oh my God! Unbelievable third-way moonsault slam cover. Octagón Jr. with the win.
That's one right for me. I said the AAA contingent was going to get this one.
And again, nobody's disappointed in that result or that opening trios affair. Octagón Jr. with a beautiful avalanche fallaway moonsault power slam gets the win, pinning Cruz del Toro. Octagón Jr., Iguana, and Aerostar victorious at Worlds Collide. Let's take a look at the replay here, JJ. This was ridiculous. That step up over the top, Frankensteiner of sorts by Dragon Lee wiped out Iguana, then Aerostar with the step up, splash dive, whatever the hell you want to call it, planking, and then Escalera corkscrew plunger, beautifully executed by Cruz del Toro, who in my opinion shined the most of this match. But this here to Lince Dorado, the avalanche, faraway moonsault power slam, deep hook of both legs, and Octagón Jr. gets the win for his team and AAA. It was looking like a game of one-upsmanship. Oh, well, wait a minute. Here, why is Dominic got a freaking mic? Oh, Lord. And no one wants to hear this kid. Yeah, Gwen, I don't know. Yeah, you can translate for your boy. Oh, brother. Probably just insulted all AAA on his father in Spanish. Wait a minute.
I understand Basura. That's trash.
Well, I know that. And Octagon Jr. and Dominic Mysterio face to face? Whoa! The plans just suspended. Uh-oh! Well, Octagon heard enough! Octagon Jr. teaming up against Dominic Mysterio!
Are we going to get Octagon Jr. versus Dom for the IC title, Noah?
I don't know. Right now, we need to restore some law and order. I know Mexico has, like, literally lawless things across the border, but this is ridiculous. I mean, again, you insult Rey Mysterio, though, in this building, you're going to probably start a riot. And Aero Octagon Jr. and Dom Mysterio are not done with each other. Seriously, separate these two. We have a restless show to do. Good grief. Leave it to this punk kid to cause trouble wherever he goes. What? What?
We just got an IC title match made for Money in the Bank.
What?
Dominic Mysterio versus Octagon added to the PLE.
And putting the title on the line? What the hell? Wow, I didn't expect
shit,
that.
Noah.
Well, I guess they're going to have 5 matches. To your point, JJ, it's Dominic Mysterio versus Octagon Jr. and Money in the Bank for the Intercontinental Championship.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
As we got a moment to breathe, let's take a look back at this video here. Again, we're celebrating Lucha Libre with the early 1990s. And for decades, one company reigned as the country's dominant promotion. Of course, we're talking about AAA, as I said, built back in 1992, took a hiatus, brought back to life in 2014. As you see, when he set up in that, the president of AAA Lucha Libre, talking about her brother, Antonio Pene, who started this promotion, Dorian Roldan, who's the director of AAA Lucha Libre. As we're learning more about this historic promotion, you saw the pictures earlier. That was Antonio Pene, a former wrestler turned booker who had this vision and this TV project, Cabaret Generations, and that's how AAA came into existence. Oh, good grief. Kudos to WWE actually giving us a realistic break, worthwhile, with actually some history to it and some worthwhile venture to look into. Pene La Asistencia, of course, AAA. In the very beginning, AAA didn't just change Lucha Libre, it supercharged it. Faster-paced action, larger-than-life characters, accurate. And the focus was a spectacle. Colorful match, of course, the art of Lucha Libre goes back to the tradition of the match. You could talk more about Penta Samuel, talk about that. Of course, women's wrestling, mini estrellas, a vibrant alternative to tradition. And of course, Triple Mania has held so many incredible Lucha Libre spectacular showcases and one-of-a-kind matches and encounters, including, of course, Kenny Pagano Omega versus Andrade El Idolo, a match that most people probably recognize. You said the name AAA because you recognize those two wrestlers. Antonio Pena in 1992 took a gamble and created a legacy that would redefine Lucha Libre forever. Of course, we've got so many incredible luchadors from there, including Rey Fénix and Penta Samuel. Now, nearly 35 years later, the Pene Roldan family is carrying out the vision of Antonio Pena, taking Lucha Libre to a worldwide audience. This almost feels like a backstory to how Antonio Inoki wanted to bridge the world of professional combat sports and professional wrestling, when he, of course, founded New Japan Pro Wrestling in 1972. So I like this a lot. It's an absolutely incredible honor, I will say, to be here with Chase U alumni. I still hate that avatar, though. Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams, and be here with you all, discussing, engaging, learning even more, and further enjoying Lucha Libre. As, of course, I am a connoisseur of all things wrestling, as you know. And, JJ, this is an absolute blast so far. And we already got a huge friggin' surprise.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, We talked about it at the outset. We had no idea what to expect going into this, except for entertaining professional wrestling. And just like to see some of that stuff, to see what we just saw, the exhibition, Mascarita Sagrada there ringside.
AAA Lucha Libre legend and Lucha Libre legend, Latin lover.
Man,
this
but
truly is a celebration.
I think I would say, and let me know if you agree or disagree with me here. I would say that the star of that match was Mr. Iguana,
I can't
but the
argue that.
MVPs were Cruz del Toro and Dragon Lee.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. But kudos to Octagón Jr. getting the win as we go backstage with Legado del Fantasma.
With
course,
Chewy, he's the interviewer for Evolve.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
He's the
interesting.
interviewer for the Evolve program every Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Central on Tubi.
And Chuy Martinez, shout out to Chuy Martinez, Conan, Corey Graves, Lillian Garcia, and I believe her name is Verana, I believe. They are the correspondents for Worlds Collide here today. Talk about legacy.
Angel looks so much like Hector Garza, it's not even
crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
And I always liked Hector Garza, man. The matches that I saw of him in TNA when they were doing the World Cup and everything, I always thought he should have gotten the X Division Championship, but for whatever reason, they never pulled the trigger on him.
Seriously, why did they do that? I don't understand what they were thinking at the time.
I don't know.
How many things in wrestling have I questioned why you didn't do this? I'm just saying.
Two of the biggest mistakes, I think, in the history of TNA. Not giving Hector Garza the X Division Championship, not giving Alpha Male Monty Brown the NWA or TNA Championship.
Well, it's not only about luchadors, it's also about luchadoras, and it looks like we're about to see some women in action. Stephanie Vaquer and Lola are about to go in tag team action against Dalys and Chik. Of course, La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer, people recognize her for her worldwide recognition, former CMLL tag team and CMLL Women's World Champion, and of course, now WWE Superstar, officially signed to Monday Night Raw, your previous NXT Women's and Women's North American Champion, and of course will be involved later on today in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Of course, born in Chile, made in Japan, defined in Mexico, and now crafted and literally popularized here in America. Labra has taken the world by storm. But tonight she faces one very familiar foe, and another one she only had one encounter with. And you can see two of these journey women, Dalys and Chik Tormenta, are not very happy with her. And she's known them for a long time, JJ. It was these two that helped her at her time in Mexico. Dalys known as one of the strongest women, by the way, in Mexico.
Yeah. You know, again, we talked about this a little bit off the air yesterday, Noah, but June 30th, 2024, La Primera walks into Forbidden Door and loses the New Japan Strong Women's Championship to the CEO, Mercedes Moné. In the less than a year since then, NXT debut, NXT Women's North American Champion, NXT Women's Champion at the same time, defended both titles successfully in one night, the only person in WWE history, period, to defend two singles titles successfully in one night. And now she's made her main roster debut, qualified for Money in the Bank, and until a few moments ago, when Octagón Jr. was challenged and accepted to an Intercontinental title match later on in Money in the Bank, she was about to be the only person pulling double duty today. Now we've got Octagón Jr. doing it as well.
And right now, we're about to see Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice make history for all women of Lucha Libre, as Lola Vice might have the fastest fists in the cage, but she is against main-level caliber Lucha Libre talent. And, of course, the Gareta style of Chik Tormenta, as I said, the new WOW champion after beating the Classmaster and Dalys. And, of course, Dalys and Stephanie Vaquer, they used to be involved in trios action back in 2023.
Yo.
Hey, it's Io Sky and Tippy time.
There we go. There's my girl. It's Tiffy time.
And you know both women are going to be watching this and Money in the Bank very closely, considering they're going to have an opposition in the very near future going after either one of them. Now, this is going to be good. This is the match I was looking forward to outside the main event, but so far I am loving this show.
Now, it is, in fact, Dallas, because I've been thinking and saying it was Dalys.
Dalys and Chik.
Dalys.
Yep.
Okay,
Dalys
so not
Chik.
Dallas, like Dallas, Texas.
No,
Dalys.
Dalys.
Okay.
Two of the strongest women you will see from the AAA promotion and females of Lucha Libre here, of course. And by the way, in case y'all don't know, these two women, they started out wrestling men. Dalys are former opponents to Naomi and Jordan Grace, by the way. Chik Tormenta, former tag team partner of, as I talked about earlier, La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer. Dalys and Stephanie Vaquer and La Amapola, they were once together in a Best Child Free Falls match in CMLL back in 2023.
So for our fans out there that might be double dipping, watching our stream and the Spanish language stream with Walter's dead. I need all of you guys to dial 9-1, but don't dial the other one yet. If you see Walter going into convulsions or having a heart attack or something during this match,
you're not helping.
911, complete the call so that you can help that man.
Oh, Lord.
Because his mamacita, Lola Vice, is now in the ring, and La Primera is about to make her way with the Devil's Kiss.
And again, Stephanie and Dalys have history going all the way back to 2019, as here comes the Dark Angel of the ring. Yeah, Arlene and Amanda.
I want you to pay attention, Noah, and see if you hear the crowd when she does the Devil's Kiss. Because, like I told you yesterday, man, that crowd on Raw was doing the Booker T during the Devil's Kiss. If they're doing it again here tonight, I stand by my point. I never want to hear another fucking podcaster saying that the average wrestling fan does not watch NXT. Because how would the crowd know to do the Booker T during the Devil's Kiss if they don't watch NXT?
Well, I mean, hey, a desensitized audience with half a brain listening to a man with half a brain, I mean, it all relates. At the end of the day, I understand what you're saying.
You be nice when it comes to La Primera.
I'm fine with La Primera. I have no problem with La Primera.
Big time.
Like I said, there are ways to get over that are more professional than ignorant, and Booker T needs to learn the difference. Either way, La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer, has already made tremendous history, not even being part of WWE for one full year, and is in the ring with a very familiar foe and tag team partner. We, of course, saw Chik Tormenta and Dalys confront Stephanie Vaquer back at Battleground when she went and defended the NXT Women's Championship against Jordan Grace, and then confronted her backstage after Jessie James slapped the taste out of her mouth and stole the championship that Tuesday. And right now, it looks like we're kicking things off with Dalys and La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer. Nice transition there, looking for the single leg hook. Spinning Sova. Of course, if you don't know a lot about women in Mexico, a lot of these young luchadores didn't have a division of their own. They literally started out being trained and wrestled by men, even when it was forbidden. Shoulders down with the sunset flip, gets a 2 count. And there's a lot of unfinished business here, clearly. And, oh, no.
She going for it already?
Yes. Oh, look at Dalys, look at Dalys. Dalys too strong. And she's studying her clearly prior to coming out to me. Hey! Face first, the top.
It's way too early for her to be going for the Devil's Kiss.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, come on now. You should know better. Cazadora by Chik Tormenta. Follow up. Bulldog! Good combination. Here's the cover. Hook up both blades. Gets a 2 count. And, of course, we've seen most of these women spend their time underneath a mask. Of course, we see more luchadoras, particularly wrestling without a mask. A Garota style, very aggressive, strong base power offense, of course, that Chik, Tormenta, and Dalys hold themselves to. Dalys, by the way, is 50 years old, 15 years of experience.
That means she didn't even start wrestling until she was 35, Noah.
Correct.
That's a little old to be getting started in the game, traditionally speaking. But maybe she decided to have a family before indulging in professional wrestling, whereas a lot of women get started young and then stop so they can have a family.
The cover, Lola fights the cover, gets a 2 count off the ass kick and the Tiger Pain kick combination. Chik Tormenta's 40 years of age, 18 years in the game. She's wrestled hardcore, high-flying, and technician style. Oh my God, what a rolling elbow. Trying to show
nice roaring elbow there by Chik Tormenta.
I don't know how effective that is, though, against Lola Vice with a legitimate MMA background. I'm just saying.
Well, it was able to drop her, so it was effective enough.
Well, right now you got her down the single leg crab, but notice all her body weight is not pressed down on Lola Vice. Lola Vice is able to kick her off. Again, damage done to that hamstring, trying to get feeling back there. Now Lola up and around. Oh, nice. Down goes Tormenta.
Ooh, you know what I think would really send Walter into a shock, Noah?
Yeah. What?
If Lola and Stephanie do the Devil's Kiss together in stereo.
Don't wish that into the ether right now. Lightning fast kiss by Lola Vice. Shades of Speedball Mike Bailey.
I was just going to say, shades of the Speedball, man. You see him do that all the time. And now Lola's going to shimmy.
Oh, boy. Oh, I'm backing up. And again. One for Chica Tormenta, another one for Dalys, and right now both women being rocked. Snapmare. Here's Lola with the cover on Dalys. Gets a 2 count. Chik Tormenta, former AAA World Mixed Tag Team Champion with Ares as well as Vipers. 201 days for 2022.
Got to the ground twice. That was a tap out.
Tentatively, referees call discretion. Didn't call for the break. It's also one of those things where you might have just done that on instinct. Oh, and a body shot. What a right hand there. Right hand and needless right now by Lola Vice. The Irish whip to Dalys. Sent off the ropes. It's a boot, though. Chik Tormenta, though, trying to come in from behind. Deep shot. Taken down. Drop kick, though. Routes Lola Vice to the outside. And watching the Tormenta. Good grief. Ran through Lola Vice that clothesline. That's a Garza style right there. Heavy, aggressive, offensive. Oh, boy.
Jaw-jacking with Tiffy time.
Yeah, about to say, we already got one match, man, and neither woman is in action tonight at Money in the Bank. I'm just saying. You would think they would want to focus, though, on the fact they have a threat imminent to them and miss Money in the Bank. And Lola Vice, like we talked about, so young, inexperienced in wrestling.
Nice face.
You see La Primera, though, just watching on, seeing her former tag team partner send a very painful message here. Like I said, these two have a little bit of bad blood since they left AAA.
Well, understandably so.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we talked about the bad blood between AAA and CMLL that has waged on for decades, while Rocky Romero has mended some of those bridges. Oh, big power slam. Cover by Chik Tormenta. Kick out at 2. Good grief. Right now, Chik Tormenta grounding Lola Vice, possibly looking for a submission here.
I got to say, I love Conan, but he seems so uninterested on commentary.
Well, you and I can both talk about when it comes to WWE and Conan's rocky relationship. Here's the cover. Hogan both legs, but Chik Tormenta at 2 count. And I still think there is definitely some of those bad ties there. And I don't think even this is going to mend those bridges.
I mean, you got to work in baby steps, though, man. The fact that Conan inducted Rey Mysterio in the Hall of Fame 2 years ago, you would think that would have been the start of it. Conan's on commentary here, still working as the head booker for AAA. You know, it's like, just, you don't have to be like super duper animated like Corey Graves, like Jim Ross, like Jerry Lawler, but like at least sound like you're happy to be there.
I agree. I mean, Vampiro in Lucha Underground with Matt Striker, I mean, he was a masochist, but he was extremely happy to always be there. And Vampiro's another one that's had quite a career. Nice scoop though by Dalys. By the way, you just saw her trainer in the audience rooting her on, by the way. It looks like Lola trying to make that tag, and Dalys denying the tag for now. Dalys and Fresno Jr., by the way, have been in a feud lately, a mixed tag team feud. Better go suplex for half, maybe in play here by Dalys, and you see Lola trying to fight it off, thrown in the corner, but Chik gets the boot up.
I wonder if they're letting Lola do most of the work here to save Stephanie's energy for her other match later, figuring she's in a Money in the Bank ladder match.
I believe you're exactly correct on that one. And of course, former AAA Reina's title challenger. Oh, nice. Look at the leg there. Shoulder's not down. Shoulder down now. Again, poor positioning, though. Gets a 2 count. Rolls through. Tag made the La Primera. And now she gets to once again renew hostilities with her former tag team partner. Goes over pants, Brian the President off the flying cross body. Off the ropes, standing Vaquer, sidestep by Dalys and arm ringer. Ooh, soul food, eat the feet. Shout out to Gail Kim. Keep Tormenta right now, being driven into the turnbuckle pads. Standing Vaquer right now might be held up as one of the most dangerous and dominant females in WWE. You were saying, JJ?
Just said Yakuza kick, now Meteora.
And right now, Dragon Screw leg whip.
Go ahead, say your tagline.
Damn, that move at the suck. Look at the new leg. And 2 count it. Thank you, JJ, as always.
I always look forward to saying it does, so I wait for you to get that little tagline in there.
Look, it has to happen when you deal with Stephanie Vaquer or Roshi Tanahashi, right? That drop suplex by Stephanie to Dalys. And
for the watch-alongs that I do that you don't call, here we go. Kiss time.
Super kick.
I think I wished it near Ethan. Here comes Lola.
No!
Yes!
Damn it! Fuck! Shit! God! Fuck it! Damn it!
And the crowd is doing it. Yes!
And Lola rolling off the apron.
Somebody check on Walter.
Hold that thought. You might want to check on Dalys if Stephanie gets the SVB. Swing and a miss off the ropes now. Kept care, though. Caught by Dalys now. Oh, look at this. Oh, wait. Roll through. Crossplay cover. Shoulders down. Ooh. Great up
But to the point I was making before the Double Devil's Kiss, for the watch-alongs that I do with James or Walter and you're not there, whenever there's a Dragon Screw Leg Whip, we call the move Dragon Screw Leg Whip, and I'm like, and yes, Noah, that move does suck.
And so does the SVB, as effective as it is, as Steve Vaquer just got the 1, 2, 3 on her former tag team partner, Dalys. Lola Vice and Steve Vaquer successful tonight at Worlds Collide. The student defeated the teacher.
A little booty bump there from Stephanie and Lola.
I figure there's too much Latino heat right now for Walter to handle. But kudos
this
to
is the only comment you're going to get from me tonight, Noah. At least I'm going to try to make this the only comment you get from me tonight. There's so much cake in the rain right now that you'd need a bib, a knife, and a fork to eat it.
Jesus Christ almighty. Anyway, congratulations to Steve Vaquer and Lola Vice.
Try and let that be the only one, and at least the match was over. I didn't take away from the match to make the comment.
Well,
Give me that.
You're definitely far better than Booker T. I will not deny you of that. As we go inside the ring now, looks like we're going to get a post-match interview with Vera Rodriguez. Again, they're speaking in Spanish, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing these two as a tag team. Pretty effective duo tonight. Yeah, that's about Money in the Bank. Does he have the energy still? The answer is C.
I still think the women's Money in the Bank match should be the main event.
I agree. Put John Cena in the opener. Get my wasted time out of the way.
No. Let the men's Money in the Bank open, the women's main event, and then do the other 3 matches in the in-between.
All right, make the tag match the second match then. The sooner that's done, the better. Well, Stadium Vaquer is definitely fired up, even more so tonight, ahead of Money in the Bank, as her and Lola stand tall here at Worlds Collide, a tremendous women's showcase, and I would love to see more of Dalys and Chik Tormenta. I would go backstage with Chad Gable preparing for the main event, clearly, as we got an interview with Chuy Martinez. Guy that said literally how much he hates.
You know what would be awesome and a cool little throwback? I don't know if they do it.
What?
But I think it would be cool if they tapped JBL tonight to lead Chad Gable to the ring.
Oh, God.
You know, proud American, the things that he used to say about Mexico when he was feuding with Eddie Guerrero.
Oh.
It would be a nice little throwback. You know what I mean? Like, you feeling me here? And we've seen JBL pop up randomly across numerous different promotions, including AAA.
I don't know when the last time he actually did that, though, to be fair, but you're not wrong. It's a fair point, JJ, and you really want to get Conan a reason to really be pissed off and wake up. That's definitely one way of doing it. Again, AAA Mega Champion, it's still on the line, our main event, but coming up next, it's Legado del Fantasma versus Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. Try saying that 3 times fast. Psycho Clown and Pagano in 6-man tag team action. What's this? Video package. Legado del Fantasma. Why did you bring us here? Family. Me and we agreed. Go ahead.
We agreed that we are going to Worlds Collide. But now I have a plan.
Huh?
Very simple. Worlds Collide. And there we will prove once and for all, we will establish before our people, our public, our Mexico, who owns the world of Lucha Libre. Want a scoop? Yes. Legado del Fantasma against Psycho Clown, Pagano, and the one who will always live in the shadow of his father, Dr. Wagner III.
That's harsh.
We will effectively be removing the heart and the soul of that house. So pay attention, as we have the tools to do it.
Bold statement. Let's go
Santos,
ahead.
Escobar, Garza's, I've heard all plans.
Oh, that voice.
How you want to rip apart the heart and soul of AAA. Let me remind you, I was in the match at Triple Mania where you lost your mask in front of your entire country.
Damn!
The most beautiful mask in the world has arrived in the WWE. You talk a lot, even about me living in the shadow of my father, but show the Latin audience, the Mexicans, the Americans, and all the people that'll be there in Los Angeles what's the real Lucha Libre. What's up? I am the Noah style of Mexican Lucha Libre.
He crazy.
From Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico, Pagano, we came to your house to make the party. At Worlds Collide, my friends Wagner, Pagano, we will ruin your plans once again. You are not coming to teach us anything because you said it. You go against the heart and soul of Mexican AAA Lucha Libre. We make lucha. We are the Aztec warriors. And that day, come and show me. Let's establish who owns the world of Lucha Libre in front of our people, our audience, our country, with the voice of 2 words. Legado. Familia. Viva Mexico.
Woof. Tonight, of course, the celebration as we talk about Lucha Libre, talking about the all-time great. You can't say Lucha Libre without mentioning Guerrero as we look, of course, this video package at Eddie and Chavo Guerrero. And there you see Chavo Guerrero in the audience.
Last I heard, and I don't know how true it is anymore, but last I heard, Chavo lives in Orange County, California.
I mean, he wasn't too far from the building then, it looks like. And there you see the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, taking in all the festivities tonight. Montez Ford and Angela Dawkins.
They want the smoke.
Well, I think Legado del Fantasma wants their tag team titles, but tonight they want to make sure they remove the heart of AAA. See, a family is stronger than anything brought forward tonight by the opposition. Looks like they're ready to go to really guerrilla warfare tonight. As Lillian Garcia again giving us our introductions for this type of match in Espanol. By the way, is Walter still alive? Did anyone check on him?
Yeah, right? Somebody let us know. Is Walter alive?
I fear that we may not see him later tonight. And James might have to go solo or with Ash. Well, JJ, you definitely heard a critical note about this match and how personal this is, particularly for Santos Escobar, considering he is going to be across the ring from somebody that literally took his heritage from him, his mask.
And Sandy, let me just say, no disrespect. Number one, it's a joke. And number two, Walter said it himself in our private chats. Noah, if you can see the comment, please attest to it. Walter said it in the private chat himself, that it was his two women that he may need medical attention. Please have my
back. It's one of those things where, Sandy, when you love somebody that much because you appreciate their style and their beauty, you tend to really take it a bit farther than just a regular engager. It's 100%
and thank you for letting us know that Walter is still alive and good health.
Yeah, and again, we all love Walter Cruz. Please subscribe to the Rage of Wrestling Walter Cruz. He's a good person, good friend, good-hearted individual. He's reliable. And this dude is bloody insane and local.
And please, let me take this opportunity during the entrances to remind people, please thumbs up the video across all our channels, Rage of Wrestling, N. Foster 1916, J. Hebertside 95, Casa D18 Studios, Batty for Wrestling. Please go thumb up the video for both streams. Leave comments. That's going to help put it into the algorithm. Make sure you're subscribed to all the channels here in the Simply Reliable Studios. This is our passion that we bring to you guys on a consistent basis. And if you guys are appreciative of this, if you enjoy our commentary, show the love, show the support. Like I said, give the video a thumbs up, post a comment, help boost it in the algorithm so more people will see us. Copy the link, share it on your Facebook, share it on your X accounts. Let the world know that we are here having a blast and engaging in positive conversation about what, Noah?
Lucha Libre! In this case.
There you go.
Professional wrestling. Psycho Clown, by the way, he's been his fair share of warfares. All three of these men have been in battle with one another and alongside each other. The Pagano definition of hardcore, and of course, he called Dr. Wagner Jr. And no handshake given in the early going here, as Psycho Clown was looking for the handshake, just kicked off.
I'll say they were looking for that show of respect that we had in the LWO match. Legado not wanting to show any here.
And the audience chanting Bendejo. Yeah, I don't think you need a translator for that.
No, probably not.
Yeah. Looks like we're going to get El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr.
with Berto to start things off. Okay.
Okay, Humberto Carrillo, I'm for this. Of course, one guy that was with so much promise in his young career, especially in 205 Live. Connor will tie up here in the early going. Of course, we've also seen Legado of Fantasma try and siege championship opportunities for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships recently. Get to the midsection. A clubbing shot. And of course, we talked about before how this is literally a melting pot of promotions, TNA, AAA, WWE, NXT. And of course, we know this is not the only time we're going to see individuals from all four of these companies here under one umbrella. We know that AAA Mania is coming up pretty soon. When's the primary see some WWE superstars there along with TNA, including some of the men you see right here.
Absolutely.
The drop down, Hijo the Wagner. I'm just going to say Hijo for short term. Whoop, good agility right there. Sidestep off the ropes. Look at this. Take her to Harris.
Beautiful Harris there from El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. and then an arm drag to follow it.
And again, we'll see right now how things are affected once Psycho Clown and Pagano get in. Tag made now, though, to Angel Garza, the man mostly known for ripping off his trunks if you followed his career for long as I have. Up and over, former WWE Cruiserweight Champion, of course. Oh, man. Big right hand.
You know, and Connor was talking a little bit on the show commentary about the legacy and the dynasty that the AAA stars come from. You know, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Let's not forget about the legacy of Los Garza going back to Hector Garza.
As we were talking about literally earlier. The arm ringer there. Yeah. Tag made now to Psycho Clown. Oh, man. Big cross body out of the corner. A side step, pop up. Oh!
Jesus, Rock Angel with that forearm smash and then a spinning power slam. Shades of Randy Orton there.
Yeah, that elbow is called the Psycho elbow. You can see exactly why. Angel all out of sorts here after that. You see the WWE logo and the AAA logo embroidered, though, on his mask here. Irish whip reversal. Psycho Clown sitting in the corner. Psycho Clown who literally once put his mask online for someone else's hair. A tradition as old as Mexico itself. Standing switch. Waist lock exchange here. Psycho Clown hooking up Angel Garza. Up with the Rio with the waist lock on Psycho Clown though. Now Garza and Umberto. And all three of these men drive position. No way. No way. What the hell?
Double German suplex there from Psycho Clown, taking out both members of Los Garza.
Oh, and nearly got the win with a 2 count. What a show of strength. Looking for a cheap shot to Santos Escobar. Psycho Clown again, so unorthodox in his brawling and technical style. And whoa, man, good lord! Diving tope
on the outside there.
Yeah, literally diving tope in between the turnbuckles. Just to the side of the ring post, and he wiped out Santos Escobar against the Spanish announce table.
And if this was a TV match, they'd be going to commercial right there.
Well, thankfully, it's not.
Thank God it's not.
Preach, brother. Tag made a Pagano. The crowd sinner, as he calls himself. And again, Pagano, everything that he does, definition of hardcore, definition of painful. Angel able to avoid the stun gun across the second rope, though. Humberto not so lucky. Right now, the God of Fantasma trying to shut down all sort of momentum that the opposition has. Humberto sent to the outside. Garza still legal, though. Catch with a back elbow strike. And sidestep and Pagano in between. Tiger feint, no one there. Able to stop himself going to the outside. Back elbow strike. And once again, creating distance. And Pagano drives Garza up and over the outside. Uh-oh. Here we go. I think Pagano's looking to fly tonight here at Worlds Collide. Good God. Ooh. Well, that Iris led to nothing. Faced a freaking run-in save by Santos Escobar, JJ. Hey.
Great move there by the leader of Legado del Fantasma, saving his stablemate.
Yeah, no kidding. And freaking Pagano crashed and burned off that. Angel Garza, by the way, still legal for Legado del Fantasma, excuse me. Psycho Clown, 39 years of age. Just give you a little bit of details here. Hold on, Pod. Here's the cover. Very like a days ago for Angel Garza. Come on, man. Give me a break. Pagano, former AAA World Tag Team Champion with El Mesias back in 2017, has not held gold, though, since 2018. 17-year veteran of the game with a hardcore style in the ring, if you haven't figured it out by now. Reckless Abandonment. Tag made now by Legado of Fantasma on all fronts. I believe that Humberto is legal, but looks like we might get a double team here by Santos Escobar and Angel Garza as Pagano caught in a hard place, attacked from all three sides. Good grief, clean as clock. And here's a cover now by Humberto, gets a 2 count.
Conan pointing out on commentary, this is the first time that the Legado have wrestled as a unit. Usually Santos wrestles as a solo, the Garzas wrestle as a tag team, or have had the odd singles matches, but never have they teamed as a trio.
It's a good point, actually, when you consider how long this family has been together, and it also talks about how personal this is, particularly the Santos Escobar, when he says he wants to take the heart and soul out of AAA. And of course, step 2, if they win here tonight, is taking the AAA Tag Team Championships. And Vince Barman, though, TNA wants those titles as well. Berto Correa wiping out, I believe that was Psycho Clown and Hijo out of the corner. Pagano is still legal, now completely isolated here with Legado del Fantasma. Dangerous territory to be in. And tag made to Santos Escobar. Previously, AAA World Tag Team title match involved Pagano and Psycho Clown. They lost to the current champions, Nueva Generation Dementia. And Santos Escobar right now with Pagano. Nice snapmare there. Modified hammer lock to the arm. Double wrist lock. Front wrist lock, excuse me. And I will say this right now, JJ. The last time we've seen, this unified of a front with the God of Fantasma, been a while. Blockbuster by Pagano, now looking to finally make a tag to Psycho Clown and El Hijo.
Wasn't sure if he was going for a blockbuster or a Mexican destroyer, but either way, it was effective nonetheless.
Yeah, no kidding. Oof. And right now, Santos, though, catches Insiguri. Tag made to Humberto. Tag made to Psycho Clown. That Psycho Clown looking to go crazy here tonight, or loco, however you want to translate it. That swing and a miss off the ropes, the pop up. Oh, man! Pop up, power slam.
Don't you know I'm loco?
Orderly. Pop up again to Angel Garza this time. Top turnbuckle pad, clubbing shot, back of the head, and Psycho Clown literally attacking everybody that he can. Angel Garza does not want to be stuck there. Oh no. What the hell is this crazy man looking for here? Oh!
Shotgun drop kick.
That basement drop kick. Back elbow strike to Santos Escobar. Now, cover! Cover! Down goes Carrillo! Cover! Ah, 2 counts. Able to escape. Notice the legs were not on the shoulders there. Oof. This has been a great show so far. I gotta say, I've really enjoyed the pacing of this too. Tag made to Higo. Tag made to Santos. Here we go, JJ. This is the match I was waiting for out of this 6-person.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying this because I know once we get to Money in the Bank, you're going to be all kinds of PO'd and ranting and raving because of the commercial breaks and the pointless advertisement. Yep. So hopefully you can just think. There's that dragon screw leg whip again.
Damn, that move at the side.
It does.
Get it.
But hopefully during that match, you can just remember back to this and the pacing and maybe not rant as much tonight.
I will make no promises, but at least there's 3 things to look forward to in Money in the Bank. Well, yeah, 3. Oh, God, Pagano wiped out Angel Garza next time.
No, I will give you the choice. You can either rant about the pacing in the commercials, or you can rant about El Grande Americano. You can't rant about both. You can only rant about one. Yeah. So you got time to decide which one you want to rant about.
You are
replay there.
You are a bastard sometimes. You know that?
I know, but you know, you did have doctor's appointments to check on your health and your well-being. Don't need you getting overly worked up multiple times during a stream. Once I think is effective. Trying to look out for your health, brother.
I appreciate it. Fine.
So
I will.
pick which one you want to rant about.
It's a typical trope that happens every week. I only can rant about El Grande so much, considering he's involved in a marquee match. I'll rant about him. Anyway, let's get back to this. Here we go. All 6 men colliding in the middle of the ring. I believe Hijo and Santos are still legal, by the way. Oh, my God. Oh, man, what a bump kick. Boot on the jawline there. Santos Escobar by Hijo. Ooh.
Step up.
Santos right now in a vulnerable position. Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., currently TWC Tag Team Champion Galeno Del Mar and the Crash Tag Team Champion with his brother Galeno Del Mar. Taken down. Falcon Arrow has it done the deal. And Angel Garza with the save. And tag mate Alberto Carrillo, El Hijo, former GHC heavyweight champion who beat Keno for that title, and former GHC national champion in Pro Wrestling Noah. Knife Edge Shop, tag mate. It looks like Legado del Fantasma looking for a double team here. Blind tapping by Santos Escobar. And what the hell is this? Oh, man! That might do it. Overhead military press slam out of the corner from the top. Wait a minute. And Zacko Clown has got Humberto hooked. Oh, don't do that. Oh!
Jesus, the Psycho Driver on the apron there to Berto, I believe.
Yep, and Garza wants him out with a
insult, taking him out on the outside.
What Pagano now looking for here? This crazy son of a gun. Pagano! Crossbody wipes out Angel Garza.
That just leaves El Hijo del Octagón Jr. and Santos Escobar. Yakuza kick from Dr. Wagner.
There you go. By Wagner scouting Santos. What the hell is Wagner looking for here around the corner? Step up off the steps. Whoa!
Oh, step up cannonball off of the stairs there.
Again, we know the history.
Back in the ring.
Here's the cover. Hook of the far leg. Deep hook. And again, Angel Garza with the save.
Great last-second save there by Angel.
And about to say now, Psycho Clown might be looking to hit another driver on Angel Garza. Sit-out powerbomb! Psycho Clown, though, watching from Berto Carrillo. Oh! Big kick off the springboard. With Pagano, though, out of the corner. Goat breaker from the middle rope. Angel Garza. Oh, the massive run-in headbutts. Good Lord. Reckless abandonment being the story of this match. Literally, this is a war zone. What the hell is Santos Escobar asking Carrillo to do? Carrillo with the run-in. Good God! And everyone driven through the barricade! I'm not sure who got the worst of that one, JJ. Freaking 5-man car pileup.
Even Santos is like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, that wasn't freaking smart. Well, now we're literally down to 2 men. Watch out, Higo! Down goes Escobar off the running knee strike. Here's the cover to beat Santos Escobar. No! Nearly put down Legado del Fantasma. Yeah, you heard that, JJ.
Little Guerrero shimmy. Could El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. be looking to get froggy?
Well, I mean, again, we talked about how we're celebrating Lucha Libre. Give a nod to Eddie Guerrero, but watch Santos catching with Enziguri. Good counter. It is ruckus there in the fabulous form. I'm loving this energy in this audience. Man, Santos, though, furiously continuing his onslaught, though, and oh boy, I sense disaster. Look at that! The Turnbuckle Super on a cover! Kick out of 2.5 by El Hijo.
Santos was going to do it there.
Well, this might do it.
Keep the momentum going, though. Capitalize.
Push off the ropes. Nice roll through cover. 2. Oh! Almost got with the victory roll. Oh, and kind of rising knee. Rebound off the ropes, up in the shoulders. Down goes Wagner, Phantom Driver, Santos Escobar with the win.
Yes. 3 for 3, baby. Too bad this show doesn't count.
That is a major win and redemption for Santos Escobar tonight. Seriously, tonight has been favoring the WWE contingency outside that one match with the LWO. Take a look at the replay here, by the way. Ridiculous takeover Super Rana. I thought he did have him there, JJ, but somehow Wagner kicked out. But again, that jumping knee rots Wagner. Rebound off the ropes, up in the fireman's carry. The Phantom Driver, the same move Santos Escobar won his Cruiserweight Championship with. And momentum continues for Legado de Fantasma as step 1 was accomplished. Step 2, could you be looking at future AAA Tag Team Champions? Possibly a Triple Mania Regalia. Of course, that's on June 15th. Wow. Well, JJ, I gotta admit, you are 3 for 3 so far. You're perfect. Oof. As we got a moment to breathe.
Doesn't count for shit.
Hey, sometimes wrestling's just fine itself. And if I could make the points count, I would. But Mammon Aaron Rip, he doesn't know anything about Lucha Libre with all due respect. For all we know, he's not even doing a review on this. Anyway, have fun playing Mario World, bro. I'll be honest with you. That's probably still more worthwhile than anything you're going to get today from WWE overall, too. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in so far. Damn it. Again, thank you all for tuning in so far, whether it's us or whether you're looking at true Spanish coverage, courtesy of Walter Cruz and the Dominguez.
And Sandy's going downstairs to get no grande americano right now.
I had a cappuccino this morning, so there you go. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Muchas gracias. I hope that you are enjoying our coverage. Of course, me and Jada will be back later covering Money in the Bank. As it looks like we're going to get a little bit more of a video package here. What's this about? Ah, yes, more Lucha Libre, more AAA history, a history lesson for you all. Now going in 1994.
The original Worlds Collide.
Yeah, as we talked about, Rey Mysterio echoed that earlier. You were literally talking about that. And of course, that
Sports Arena, there's Eddie Guerrero, Los Gringos Locos.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to let you take this one because you know more about the history here and you literally talked about it.
Man, if you have the Cheating Death Stealing Life DVD, that match is on there. Los Gringos Locos versus Octagón Jr. and El Hijo del Doctor, or El Hijo del Santo. Excuse me.
Yeah, there you go. There's a lot of like Hijos. It's okay, JJ.
Yeah. Phenomenal match. If you've never seen it before, it's worth going out your way to look for it. They lost their hair in that match.
Well, it was hair versus mask, I imagine.
Yes.
Like I said, a tradition as old as Mexico itself. We've literally seen luchador careers end because of matches like that. Groundbreaking collaboration, of course, between AAA and WCW that redefined not only Lucha Libre, but the Cruiserweight Wrestling landscape. Latin Lover, Lucha Libre legend. What a name, by the way. First major American pay-per-view to showcase Lucha Libre on its own terms.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Paraguayo, Conan. Wow, Conan looked different back then. La Parca.
The chairman of the board and a young phenom named Rey Mysterio Jr.
Of course, Rey Mysterio talked about earlier when he welcomed us into Worlds Collide at the beginning of the show night after the singing of the Mexican and, of course, our national anthem.
You look at him, Noah, a very untattooed Rey Mysterio.
Right? And Conan was in the main event against El Perro Aguayo in a steel cage. Man, Conan's been around so long in this business. It is crazy. Literally mentioning all those names we just talked about a moment ago. because the people in charge understand that lucha libre should be as it is in Mexico. They're not going to Americanize it. And of course, AAA's moment on the global stage, not that changed perceptions. And of course, we know still Dakota 9 is the crown jewel of AAA, the AAA Mega Championship. See, this is a worthwhile commercial break right here, okay? Because you're actually giving something of relevancy actually to professional wrestling.
Well, it's a history lesson, you know.
Yeah,
and they gave a little bit of it at the outset in the cold open, but this was a lot more in depth.
Yeah, Jose Manuel Guillen and Marcelo Rodriguez and Roberto, of course, the Spanish commentary there at Worlds Collide. Of course, shout out to Walter Cruz and Arlene Emmanuel Dominguez. The Spanish commentary gets about the studios for this live watch along event. I'm sure they're having a great time as it is along with us. I hope that you all are as well. We got 2 matches left, and both are, of course, concerning championships. And we go backstage with, of course, El Hijo del Vikingo with Vera Rodriguez. Multi-time AAA Mega Champion, of course. Previously faced Kenny Bygado Omega for that title. Going to play. You can tell Hijo del Vikingo's fired up, JJ.
Oh, yeah. She's pretty.
I think she's actually part of not Lucha Libre Online. She's I'm not sure who she works with. But anyway, coming up next, JJ, time for you to shine in the spotlight. It's all going to Page versus Rey Fénix versus Laredo Kid versus Javon Evans. 4 promotions represented here for a championship from NXT. Can the NFC North American Championship remain with all ego, or will it go to Mexico or even TNA? Speaking of Latin community, there's a freaking Latin throwback for you right there.
Savio Vega.
Yeah.
Leader of Los Boricuas. Last time we saw Savio Vega was Backlash in Puerto Rico. And there he is, Damian Priest.
Hey, yo. Last time I remember, Savio Vega was welcomed in as an official member of the LWO.
Blue Demon, who, of course, we saw during the anthems earlier.
And, of course, we also saw him down in Mexico, if you all watched the times, against the likes of Penta El Cielo. This is awesome. Well, we're going to be bouncing a lot in this one. I guarantee you that. We talk about a lot how Lucha Libre style has been on full showcase tonight. Javon Evans might as well be a guy that has embraced it with an American style of his own, because this boy can bounce for miles.
Well, and let's not forget, it was All Ego Ethan Page, Noah, who caused Javon Evans to lose his smile for a while there when he broke his jaw.
It was last year.
This is very, very personal between Javon and Ethan Page.
Yeah, and also going back a bit further, let's not forget last year at Heatwave, Javon Evans was part of that fatal 4-way that led to a brand new NXT champion named Ethan Page. When Ethan pinned him while he was unconscious because Sean Spears pulled Trick Williams out of the ring. Javon Evans is the reason Ethan Page has had so much turmoil and success. Here we go. Now, this man might take exception to how high you bounce. One of the best high flyers in the ring, the current AAA World Cruiserweight Champion, Laredo Kid. He's been World Cruiserweight Champion now for 182 days in his second run. He's also a former, you might recognize this, TNA Digital Media Champion. He beat Matt Riddle for the AAA World Cruiserweight Championship.
The title that has recently been decommissioned, I guess would be the best word, and turned into the International Championship.
That is correct. Of course, we also saw this man with Octagón Jr., as you saw in the opening show, team up with him in TNA as the Aztec Warriors. Yeah, this is going to be a very unique first-time matchup here. Javon, Laredo Kid. Uh-oh. And speaking of the AAA Mega Championship, here comes another previous holder of that title, Animo Fénix. One of the fastest men you will ever see walk the ropes in Fuego. Rey Fénix, such an influential force down in Mexico in AAA, alongside his brother, former AAA tag team champions, of course, Penta El Cielo Miero, I'm sure what I'm referring to. Rey Fénix, to me, is on another level when it comes to speed and agility in that ring, JJ.
No question, Noah, no question.
And of course, former Lucha Underground champion, I believe, as well. I think he was once resuscitated back to life down there, if you all remember that storyline. Former AAA World Cruiserweight champion as well. So who knows? He might have eyes on the Laredo Kid's title. If he pins him, he not only might become NXT North American champion, he might get a chance for the AAA World Cruiserweight championship.
And I know it's been renamed, but what was it called when Rey Fénix defeated Jon Moxley for the AEW championship?
It was the AEW All-Atlantic
Thank you, the All-Atlantic. Because I know it's now the International, about to be unified with Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada Beach at All In, Texas. But the All-Atlantic Championship, thank you. I forgot its previous name. But yeah, Rey Fénix, former AEW All-Atlantic champion and Trios champion. And I believe, weren't the Lucha Brothers also the tag champions as well?
They were, but here comes your NXT North American champion. Eagle. Even Page with the journeyman, though, we know the history of this man, and I'm not just talking about AEW and TNA. Literally once opened his own promotion in Canada and was the freaking champion. All Eagle Ethan Page has taken WWE by storm in less than a year and has now held the NXT championship and is currently the new NXT North American champion after beating Ricky Saints.
First defense for All Ego Ethan Page as well is this multi-man match on this grand stage.
And think about this, JJ. Ethan Page is also the only man in this match not a high flyer. But he is one step ahead of his competition no matter what style he faces. And that goes to his longevity in this business.
But that's not to say he hasn't teamed with high flyers in the past and knows how to pull some of that stuff out. Just because it's not frequent parts of his arsenal doesn't mean he can't do it.
Well, he's already twisted the grin of Javon Evans as we got Lilian Garcia introducing an Espanol, our semi-main. The young OG, the bouncing man, Javon Evans.
Nice little pop for Javon there. Not a huge reaction, but a decent pop.
Yeah, fair enough, you know. He's recognized. And Laredo Kid, like I said, current AAA World Cruiserweight Champion.
About a similar size pop for Laredo Kid.
There
we go. Rey Fénix getting the huge pop, of course. Let's not forget the Republic of Lucha, owned by the Lucha Brothers in California. So a huge representation for the Lucha Brothers.
And last but not least, the champion.
And a nice chorus of boos for All Ego Ethan Page.
He wouldn't have it any other way, this 18-year veteran in the ring. You don't have to like it, but you gotta respect it. The man knows how to stay in the conversation. and hold a championship. And again, we're talking about the North American Championship. We got Mexico, we got Canada, we got America, we got all 3 countries represented here in this 4-way match with 4 promotions represented. Bell rings are underway. Again, fatal 4-way action, no disqualifications, first pinfall submission inside the ring. You are the NXT North American Champion. 25% chance for the champion to retain.
And it's going to be interesting to see the respect wear off, because as of right now, Laredo Kid, Ray Fénix, and Javon Evans, all baby faces, all have an amount of respect for each other. Their obvious target is Ethan Page, the champion.
Well,
but what happens when that miscommunication happens and they have to go against each other?
Or when you're down one-on-one, or you're down literally with just yourselves, the high flyers. Laredo Kid with the standing switch since Javon into Ray Fénix. First pinfall submission. Again, you want to isolate that ring as much as you can. Javon stepped some freaking flyer miles there. Swinging a miss by Ray Fénix. Laredo Kid, step up. Nice to Harris. Laredo Kid, the early exchange right now in the driver's seat. Oh, man, big right hand Ethan Page. Big comment right there in the jawline. Ethan Page crawling away to the corner right now. Corner barricade. Oh!
Smart from the champion. Let the other 3 fight it out. Slither in like the snake that he is. Steal the victory. And Ray Fénix backs into Javon Evans there.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Fénix has the experience, but gives up a little bit in height and weight, I'm assuming, to the young OG. Definitely height. You can see it there. Can't really tell for the weight.
I still think Javon's going to bounce higher than Ray, but I think Ray can outpace him.
Because Ray's got the conditioning. He's been doing it longer.
Oh, look at the figure out. Javon Evans with the roll-up. Whoa.
Nice move there from the young OG. Ray Fénix was anticipating the forearm.
Again. Oh, my gosh. Did you hear that?
Javon felt it. Look at his face. He's like, okay, motherfucker. We gonna go. Let's go.
Get fired up. Why not?
Bam.
It's not like Ray Fénix's tattoo hasn't been paying enough. Or chest, excuse me. Overhead right. Up and over. Rebound. Deep arm drag by Javon Evans. Formerly involved in Deadlock Pro Wrestling. Open palm strike by Ray Fénix. Ray Fénix has been involved in AAA, TNA, AEW, WWE, BLP, freelance. Up and over. Whoa, man. That is just incredible.
Out to Deadlock there. We did our first watch along of a Deadlock event, tri-branded Deadlock West Coast Pro and Prestige United 3. Go across the Simply Reliable Studios and check out that event in the archive that we did a few days ago.
We know how Ethan Page knows how to win a fatal 4-way match. And there he is, saying his name, and he appears.
Again, just slither in at the right moment. This is classic heel 101. And I can't think of a time when All Ego Ethan Page was ever a baby face. So step up to Harris there from Laredo Kid.
That big boot, though, by Ray Fénix. Ray Fénix out of the corner. Takes the Laredo Kid up and over with T. Harris. Now we're down to 2 men again. Swing in the sidestep. And what the hell?
Nice Hurricane Rana there from Ethan Page. To my point earlier, Noah, just because Ethan Page doesn't do it doesn't mean he doesn't know how to do it.
Fair enough. Take over the air
from Javon Evans.
With a smile. Drop kick. Right on the money. Sends Ethan Page to the outside again. You can see Javon seeing red. He's been Ethan Page's crosshair since Deadline last year.
And did you notice his little mock of Ethan Page before that drop kick?
Yeah. Ray Fénix, though, stopping Javon. He's thinking, rebound kick. Golly.
Yeah, Javon Evans got to be careful with moves like that he doesn't break his jaw again.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that rewind kick caught him flush on the side of the jawline. And Ray Fénix might be looking to fly tonight. Ray Fénix, what is he thinking here? Hyping up the crowd, stepping up to the top rope. Laredo Kid meets him in kind, though. Ethan Page, back meal kick, though, by Laredo Kid. Now Laredo Kid up to the top rope. What the hell? Whoa, the top! Beautiful!
Salt from Laredo, taking out Javon, and looks like Ethan Page on the outside.
Exactly. And right now, Ray Fénix, though, on the opposite
Fénix
side of the
is going to fly, baby.
Yeah, I think you're on to something, JJ. Whoa, man! Hooks through. Tornado over the top rope. Yeah, I actually ended up going in a little bit, talking about the Latino nation showing up and out today, and he's not wrong.
Conan's sounding like he's getting more into it now, so that's good. The
Cover,
early
hook of the far leg.
really seemed disinterested.
Yeah, hook of the far leg off the tornado DDT. Nice back press hook of the far leg. Look at the replay here, though. Look at the way that Rail Kid clutched his body, by the way, on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Further impact on the way landing. And beautiful tornado over the top by Rey Fénix, wiping everybody out on the outside.
Almost looked like he kind of extended like a frog on that moonsault, like he brought his knees in a little bit and then pumped out for additional extension there.
A kick right to the kidneys there. Stops whatever Rey Fénix was looking for on Ethan Page, as Javon once again has set his sights on the actual NXT North American champion. And we've seen this title, of course, held by big, agile heavyweights galore through its illustrious history. And what the hell is Laredo Kid catching Javon Vinziguri? Looks like Javon was looking to send Ethan Page for the ride. Ethan Page clutching for that top rope and turnbuckle for his life. Again, when you play to the crowd, though, you really set yourself up for disaster, especially in a multi-person bout. And what the hell? Ethan Page, Laredo Kid hook, drop down on Javon Evans. And now even going to fly with a smile to the dimple, cover off the splash on Javon, and saying gets a kick out.
Two high-risk maneuvers we've seen from Ethan Page.
Another high-impact maneuver, driving him down and right with the save. To your point, good grief.
Rey Fénix in at the last second with the
That was a hell of a freaking move, by the way. He ripped him from the mat, put him on the shoulder into a dominator position, practically. And again, Rey Fénix might be looking for that rewind kick. Laredo Kid's got it, though. Spinning Solvat. Big right hand rocks Rey Fénix. Javon out of the picture for now. Ethan Page down for the moment. Here comes Laredo. Driving in with that elbow. Michinoku driver. Short range Michinoku driver. And now springing up off the second rope. Twisting moonsault. Not sure he got all of it. Ethan Page back up to his feet. Swinging a miss. Sold out by the Laredo Kid, scouting the champion, sends Ethan into the corner. Another vicious elbow to the jaw of Ethan Page. Rey Fénix, though, still in there. Standing switch exchange. Swinging a miss, off the ropes, up and over. Oh, my God! What the hell? Modified destroyer of sorts kick on that. Saved by Javon, excuse me.
Let me see that again. I think that was a standing Spanish fly.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to maybe do a Spanish fly, and it turned into almost a DDT or a destroyer of sorts. He drove Rey Fénix on his head. It's still not enough thanks to Javon, saving the matchup for him and Ethan Page in the process. Crowd chant, this is awesome, and I agree. The fabulous forum capacity crowd on hand here for this event. To the backbreaker by the Laredo Kid to Javon Evans. What is the Laredo Kid thinking here now with Javon literally clutching the lower back? Laredo Kid right now. Oh! Whatever Laredo Kid was going for, thwarted by Javon Evans. Stuck in the tree of woe.
I wonder if this will open up the door for Javon to go to TNA and maybe do some more with Laredo Kid.
Nice lightning speed, rebound German suplex.
We still haven't seen in TNA yet.
People have been clamoring for it. And shout out to TNA, by the way. Leon Slater pinning the X Division champion at Against the Odds and figured out that junior coverage Against the Odds. Meanwhile, Javon Evans scouting Ethan Page, driving. Good God! Over the Spanish announce table, both men wipe themselves out.
There's the North American Championship that everyone is fighting for.
Good Lord, and Javon don't give a damn what he does to his own body. That was messy. How the hell is he back up to his feet so quickly? Ethan Page might be out. What is Javon thinking here, JJ?
Is he thinking is the better question, Noah.
Javon, no way. No way. Whoa!
Coast to coast somersault leg drop, it looked like.
I don't think he got all of it, though, but one leg caught Laredo Kid. And literally rebounded.
Bouncy.
Bouncing off of that rebound kick off the top rope. What a cutter! Covered by Javon, and Ethan saves his title.
That could have been it right there. Ethan Page, perfect timing there. Even though it looked like Rey Fénix kicked out on his own will there.
Now take a look at the replay here to your point. Nope, Ethan Page definitely pulled him off. And Javon Evans is like, hell nah, knows that Ethan Page did that. Again, the rivalry of NXT that we talked about here coming into play once again, where both these men might cost themselves. Page just snapped the top rope into Javon Evans' throat and just drove him face first to the little kid who was still hung in the tree of woe. Now Ethan Page literally is isolated with Rey Fénix only in the ring. We're going to pick the bones of Annie Mole. And jaw-jacking again, the only can. Sidestep of Rey Fénix, catching him with a drop kick. That might have been a mistake. Oh, God, what a walk-in PK!
I'm not going to lie. I thought he was going to go for the 619 for Rey Mysterio there.
Right? And right now, Rey Fénix springing in between the ropes with only he can with a deep arm drag. Double stomp up to Laredo Kid. Javon Evans right now back in the ring. Rey Fénix standing switch. Ripcord high kick. And spinning back heel kick. Sobot kick. Enziguri rocking Javon Evans.
But Javon still doesn't go down.
Fénix might put him down here, though. Playing the knee. Down goes Evans. Cover. Do we have a new champion? No.
Man.
I thought I was looking for the Fire Fénix driver. Instead, he modified it and went into a power slam of sorts. And somehow Javon Evans was able to survive. Take a look at the replay here. Pointed the knee to the top of the head and just drove Evans down. Hook of the far leg, but somehow Evans kicked out.
Maybe that's why Fénix didn't get it there, is he didn't go for the tried and true Fénix driver.
Right now, we got three men here. Oh, man. Question mark hit to Laredo Kid. Rey Fénix rolling in. Ethan Page looking to hook up Rey Fénix. Javon, though, watch your boy! Bouncing in with a flying clothesline, and all four men down again.
You know, for everything we said about Ethan Page not really being able to work this style, he's doing a phenomenal job keeping up with these three luchas.
And again, the NXT North American Championship on the line here at Worlds Collide. NXT's Ethan Page, NXT's Javon Evans, WWE Rey Fénix, AAA and TNA's Laredo Kid, all fighting for the prize tonight in our semi-main event. Javon Evans right now hooking up Laredo Kid in the front face lock. Rey Fénix, by the way, beat Ethan Page one-on-one back in SWE in 2017. It is their only ever other one-on-one encounter. And right now, Ethan somehow is still very much alive in this match, while Laredo Kid and Javon Evans up in the corner. This can't end well. Rey Fénix driven into Javon Evans, and I think Javon drove his head into Laredo Kid's jawline. Now Ethan hooking up Rey, positive for the Eagle's edge. And what the hell? Now Rey, kicks off Ethan Page, drops him down. Rey Fénix, Laredo Kid, eye to eye, off the top. Road Fénix fly!
I was waiting for it. Ethan Page coming in to try and capitalize here. Going for the Eagle's edge, connects.
On to Rey Fénix! And Ethan with the cover, and Javon bounces in with the splash. Unbelievable.
And Page is hurt there. Look at him just wrenching in the pain from the back there.
Yeah, I think those knees drove into Ethan Page's spine more than Javon Evans' upper body.
Crowd chanting, "This is awesome," and I vehemently agree.
It took the words out of my mouth. This is Lucha Libre. It's more than that. This is professional wrestling.
Damn it.
By Dorado Kid. Combination offense, though. Oh, man. Jumping in with that flying forearm. Twisted grin, counter, super kick by Jamon Evans, Ethan Page. Now out of the corner, spring up to the top. Oh man! Got the cutter! Page sends Jamon out to Ray Fénix, and now even Page twisted grin to the Laredo Kid, hook of the leg, back press. Ethan Page retains the NXT North American Championship.
Wow. That almost makes me wonder if we're going to have the title change in the mega title.
Good Lord. He worked for that one, though, and he's definitely favoring the toll of this battle.
Man, I said it a little bit earlier. I'm going to say it again now. All the shit that we talked about Ethan Page not really working a lucha style, he was able to keep up with these three high flyers and come out on top. Look at that Spanish fly again. All Ego came in,
Good
hit
God.
Ego's edge.
Damn, mine's called a border toss. He tossed that to Mexico with that. I thought it was over right there,
Here,
JJ.
all here. But
Yeah.
Javon Evans came in with the splash. We thought that was going to be it. Went for the springboard cutter, did Evans onto Laredo Kid, but Ethan Page up and gets Javon out of the ring, taking out Ray Fénix in the process. Twisted grin, hooks the far leg, gets the 1, gets the 2, gets the 3. All Ego Ethan Page retains the North American title.
A hell of a contest, though, brought by all four men here, as Ethan Page has once again turned everyone's smiles upside down and is still the NXT North American champion. The night might belong to Lucha Libre, but the moment belongs right now to All Ego. So we're going to get a little bit more of a history lesson here as we talk about 40 years of the WWE, of course, WrestleMania, the marquee stage of them all. Another legacy lived on, of course, for 3 decades in the great country of Mexico, and that, of course, is AAA Mania. We've seen everybody from every company there, whether it's Brian Cage, whether it's the Lucha Brothers, whether it's Kenny Omega, whether it's freaking Andrade El Idolo, La Sombra, who's who have been at the grandest stage in Mexico, Azteca Mexico particularly, and also some men have literally lost their hair and their masks, as we learned earlier about Santos Escobar. And of course, we will be covering AAA Mania, I believe, later on this year, courtesy of the Zimbabwe Studios. Really a stage of family, legacy, and history. Ooh, 1993. Plaza de Toros, Mexico.
So it was so packed that many couldn't even get in.
That's crazy.
Broke the attendance record for Mexican wrestling with more than 48,000 people at the first Triple Mania. A record for Mexican Lucha Libre that still holds today. That's crazy, Noah.
Yeah, no kidding. Considering again how much
every year it will continue into the future.
Yeah, how much Lucha is involved.
A growing legacy ready to add to the next chapter.
I wonder if Walter and Dominguez will read that in Espanol.
This August, Triple Mania 33, the 2 most spectacular Triple Manias that have ever occurred, in which we will see great rivalries like we've never seen before. This August 16th will be no exception. It'll be one of the best Triple Manias in the history of AAA.
I'm sure we'll get more involvement and discussion there, and I wonder if one of these men will be defending the AAA Mega Championship. And what has been an amazing presentation of Lucha Libre. It's time for our main event as Hijo Vikingo defends the AAA Mega Championship against Chad Gable. Here at Worlds Collide, can Chad Gable win a title made in Mexico and own it for America? It was, of course, AAA Alianzas last Saturday where Hijo del Vikingo beat Alberto El Patron to win the AAA Mega Championship. But to your point, JJ, it was Chad Gable that instigated El Hijo del Vikingo all the way back at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now El Hijo del Vikingo, a 2-time AAA Mega Champion. Chad Gable, though, has held no singles gold in his WWE career. Remember, again, the jury's still out. He still should have won the Intercontinental Championship, in my opinion, at Clash of the Castle. I will die on that hill. Chad Gable, literally with the entire arsenal of gifted athleticism, shades of Kurt Angle. I'm gonna fucking lose my mind if Chad Gable wins this title. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. And shout out to Statboy Mike, and shout out to all of you that are watching us in the chat. And Vikingo right now talking about Chad Gable.
Statboy, I'm going to tell you like I told Pop when he popped in earlier. Go over to our Spanish commentary stream. Show some love to Walter and the Dominguez as we are doing our first ever Spanish language commentary stream as well. And again, as we go into the main event here, make sure everybody likes this video across all brands in the Simply Reliable Studios. Make sure you share it on your social medias. Make sure you subscribe to all the channels if you haven't already subscribed. Show your love, your support for all of us. J. Hebert Studios 95, N. Foster 1916, Batty for Wrestling, Rage of Wrestling, me here at the Casa D18 Studios. Like the videos, leave comments on them, helps boost us up in the algorithm so more people will find us. And let's definitely get Batty for Wrestling and Rage of Wrestling, those subscribers up. Batty is still under 40. Walter's at 130 something, still trying to get Walter to 200. Show that love, everybody.
This is a huge opportunity, as we heard from El Hijo del Vikingo. This is not just AAA. This is not just Lucha Libre. This is blood. This is family. This is family. This is legacy. And why Chad Gable, you try to imitate, I'm going to teach you tonight to respect it.
Fluffy!
Long-time WWE fan, Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias, taking in Worlds Collide tonight from the Fabulous Forum.
Knew he had to be there as a wrestling fan and a proud Mexican.
Come on, you knew he had to be there front and center. As here comes Chad Gable looking for his first singles championship in his WWE career. This guy,
making sure to chat, you suck, a la Kurt Angle at Chad Gable here.
Like I said, JJ, this guy is a living, walking, breathing wrestling machine, reincarnated if Kurt Angle was still in his prime.
So, all gimmicks aside, Noah, because we know how you feel about Chad Gable, El Grande Americano. Mm-hmm. How would you feel if Chad Gable actually dethroned El Hijo del Vikingo here tonight?
It would prove a lot to me that Chad Gable can actually honor Lucha Libre if he actually wins this championship. And also, it would prove my point of how valuable of a technician he is in that ring. It would also prove my point that I also think WWE's global organization might lead in a AAA Mania where this man might be the main event. I would actually love to see it, but I don't think tonight is his night because he has to face arguably the greatest AAA Mega Champion of all time. As this man's previous run went for over 833 days. While Chad Gable looks to stop his second run as the shortest ever after literally 7 days. This is going to be incredible. El Hijo del Vikingo. We've been talking all night about Lucha Libre, the all-time greats, legacies, and families. When it comes to AAA, we talk about Rey Mysterio, we talk about Conan, we talk about, of course, La Sonta. You cannot say El Hijo de Vikingo and AAA any less than them, if not more. The AAA Mega Championship, by the way, folks, is the pride, the corner jewel of the AAA promotion. He is the 22nd AAA Mega Champion, following El Mesias from 2007 who held it for 182 days when this title was first established. Again, this title will be, of course, presented at Triple Mania 30, I believe that's 3, August 16th. And again, stay tuned because we very well might cover that after we figure out how we're going to stream that.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it's going to be broadcast, if it'll be on YouTube, Triller, whatever, but it is in our watch-along trailer.
El Hijo de Vikingo follows legacies like Jeff Jarrett, Wade Wagner, Johnny Mundo, Kenny by God Omega, and of course, who you saw earlier, Rey Fénix, along with El Texano Jr. and El Soro and Dr. Wagner Jr. Let's go down to Lily Garcia for the inductions, our main event.
Every time I hear Damas y Caballeros, I think of Ricardo Rodriguez.
Right? You know, I gotta be honest, this is probably the most excited Lily Garcia has been her entire career doing ring announcing. Well, clearly nobody wants to see Chad Gable win that title here tonight.
Dorado for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. And now let's hear the greatest ovation of the night. There we go. "28 years of age, 12 years in the game. El Hijo del Vikingo."
The Técnico, El Hijo del Vikingo, the Rudo, Chad Gable. Main event, the AAA Mega Championship, as the referee holds it up in the air.
Yes, JJ, you know what to do in English. Oh boy. Of course, they don't have a graphic.
Bell sounds, and here we go.
El Hijo del Vikingo, by the way, has been involved in AAA since 2017. And Colin will tie up here. And again, we talked about people in a clash of styles. Again, we talked about Kurt Angle being a complete athlete, a mat technician. El Hijo del Vikingo, one of the fastest, most dangerous high flyers, with a ridiculous 630 senton. Again, right now, taking down Chad Gable. Looking to teach Chad Gable a figure about respect, why Chad Gable has insulted Lucha Libre over the better part of literally this whole last half year.
And let me point out again, Noah, as I pointed out in the beginning, notice Vikingo there was working the right side instead of the left side. One of the biggest differences in Lucha Libre.
Yeah, you wonder if Chad Gable is actually going to focus on the right side, or is he going to focus on the left side here? Again, look at the pure athleticism of Chad Gable. To find and escape, pick the leg, float over, and immediately goes to the left arm. Well, there answers my question. Gable now showing his tools of trade that brought him to the dance.
And a little bit of mockery there to Vikingo.
Yeah, I'm not sure how wise that is against El Hijo del Vikingo. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, it's the early goings. It's wise in the early going. I wouldn't do it too deep in the match.
Of course, previously saw Hijo del Vikingo in not only AAA, but in AEW and in TNA. Previously faced Feeble Mike Bailey for the X Division Championship. Previously faced Kenny Omega in one-on-one X Division. Previously faced Rey Fénix, and got Chad Gable all sorts of ways tied up right now. Modified bow and arrow source. Now the mighty straw created by Chad Gable. Here's the cover. Gets a 2 count. Look at this, though. Going for the arm drag. Counter. Roll through. Fireman's carry. Takeover. Back into the arm bar. This time on the right arm. Double wrist lock. Again, great idea for Chad Gable to ground the high flyer. We talk about all the time, JJ. How you counter a high flyer, you keep them on the mat. There's a cover, though. Leverage the backslide. Gets a 1 count.
But Vikingo's showing that he can do the ground game with the best of them here, especially against an athlete the caliber of Chad Gable.
And you wonder if Chad Gable's already taken out of his game, considering he probably didn't know if the Hijo del Vikingo was that well founded on the mat. We always consider Chad Gable a mat technician. You would have thought that Chad Gable was like, oh, this is all easy work for me as long as I keep him down. Very much not the case. All right, let's see now what happens here. Bosley attempts to strengthen the Greco-Roman knuckle lock. One hand locked, the other hand tentatively locked as well. And both men right now jogging for position. Champion challenger here. You see Gable's, though, left leg inside. The slower pace trying to bend down Akito Vikingo, who is bridging on his head. The conditioning here, though, to do that. And the strength of your core. Vikingo right now turning Chad Gable around. Chad Gable up and over with Gable. Vikingo, though, showing what he's made of, though, with the front leg trip. Oop. Shoulders down, 2 count. Gable bridging up, though. And Vikingo, ooh. Great strength. Of course, the weight differential here in Chad Gable's favor. That's a monkey flip transition. Ice is now applied. A 2 count, though, for Chad Gable.
Great catch-as-catch-can Olympic-style Greco-Roman wrestling here from these two.
No doubt about it.
What you would expect.
Well, I did talk about earlier how we talk about Lucha Libre. There is a technical style, the Yale style. I talked about before how people like Hechicero and Helico are heavily founded in that. Again, draping armbar transition into the ankle lock, though, by Chad Gable. Vikingo could be in trouble here. Great roll through, though, to enforce the release. Woof. This is real wrestling right here. This is what I love about professional wrestling. WWE have actually given me a real wrestling clinic for once. Ain't that some crazy nonsense?
As
hard as I see
giving
it.
you a pay-per-view, granted free on YouTube, but giving you a pay-per-view with Chad Gable in the main event.
Yeah, right?
That wasn't on my bingo card.
Well, again, we've already talked about how Trick Williams is holding TNA hostage. To your point, why Chad Gable, he might have all the tools to be a champion. I don't know how I would feel about him holding cover, hook the far leg, AAA hostage. I do think he's overdue for a singles run as a champion, though. I just don't think the AAA Mega Championship is the one for him. Gable up to second. Vikingo catching Gable out of the corner in the fireman's carry. Whoa, great counter. I thought he was looking for a Uranagi and Gable able to scout it. Again, Irish whip, reversal. Vikingo set, whoop. Between the ropes and Gable's shoulder hits the ring post. Followed up with a kick to the head, I believe. And Gable's up, turn out as a drop kick. First high flying move of this whole match I want to add, folks. Gable clutching his right shoulder here. And again, to your point, what do they work on, like you said, JJ? Vikingo working on that right arm.
Mm-hmm.
Oop, sidestep. Again, still holding that arm. Vikingo, modified offense there. Might have caught, uh-oh. I think Vikingo might have got a little bit tied up there in the ropes. Got the boot up, though. Continues to create separation. Sidestep, Irish whip, off the ropes again, does Vikingo, up and around Gable. And of course, we should talk about how Akito Vikingo lost the AAA Mega Championship in his first historic run. It was due to injury. He had to vacate it. He never was beaten for that title. Oh, man! Double knees driving Gable down to the floor.
And look at Vikingo, man. He is not bothered by anything. So cool, so calm, so collected.
There's a reason why he held the AAA Mega Championship in his first run over 833 days, JJ. What the hell is Vikingo looking for here? Looking down on Chad Gable, walking the ropes. Oh, God!
Jesus Christ.
630! Oh. No one else in this business does that like Akito del Vikingo. So flawlessly. Accurate, JJ. Vikingo is a special type of athlete. Now we'll find by on that. Cover, middle of the ring. Look at the far leg, it's a 2 count. Good
Gable
God.
rolling away to the other side, getting as much space and distance as he can.
Yeah, you try and slow that down if you want. Oh my gosh.
Nice drop kick there through the middle and bottom rope by Vikingo, dropping Gable on the outside.
Vikingo, by the way, had 24 defenses during that illustrious run. Running shooting star, but I think Gable got the knee up. Defended that in triple threats, defended that in 5 ways, defended that under 4-way circumstances, extreme circumstances in GCW, AAA, ROH, AEW, lest I add.
And Gable throwing Vikingo into the steel stairs. That isn't technical. That isn't sound. That's not catch as catch can. That's just dirty.
And comedy one. Unfortunately, I call it intuitive, and also it is effective as Chad Gable has turned this match completely around. Gable's got to remember, title can only just has to be a pinfall or submission inside the ring. Counter disqualification means nothing. What the hell is Gable looking for now? What the? A table?
Hopefully it's not one of the Slim Jim ones.
Don't get me started, JJ. This isn't Money in the Bank. I will rant. Don't get me started. Freaking WWE ass clown TKO circus. Oh, good. It's a pure table.
Okay, good. It's a normal table. I think because it's a buy-branded show, again, notice there's no logos on the mat, no logos on the turnbuckle pads.
Thank Christ.
That's why it's a normal table here, Noah. Honestly, the only logos we're really seeing are the WWE AAA logo on the mat and then on the barricades there.
And that's all that should be presented, honestly, when it comes to professional wrestling. Standing switch exchange now, and Akira Vikingo hooking up Chad Gable. Uh-oh. What the hell? Whoa! Oh, look at us try Chad Gable for that table. And hits him with a super kick. And Vikingo. Oh, God! What down a clothesline? Vicious lariat by Chad Gable. There's seconds, Chad Gable to get back in this match and figure out a new game plan. Rolling Vikingo inside. Here's the cover. Hook of the leg. And a 2 count. And you know as well as I do, JJ, usually whoever brings out the weapon is their own victim towards it. That table, we have not seen the last of it.
Nope.
Of course, we've seen Chad Gable take the likes of Sami Zayn to the absolute limit over the WWE Intercontinental Championship. How far is he willing to go against Akira Vikingo to win the AAA Mega Championship? Well, I don't need to translate that. Oh, what's this? Gable looking for a monkey flip. Sends Vikingo for the ride. Launch him in the ring. Here he comes. Holding the far leg in the cover. Gets a 2 count again. And of course, Chad Gable right now has literally turned this match around a complete 180. He's dictating the pace. He is controlling his opponent, but he has been unable to put him away. Applies looking for the abdominal stretch. Again, though, filling out that right arm still, JJ.
Mm-hmm.
Figure about the impact on the ring post in the early going here. That shoulder went straight first. Ooh, great escape there by
Reversal
Vikingo.
there from Vikingo, catching Gable in the face there.
Yeah, but he caught him in the throat. Official showing a lot of leniency here. Oh, German suplex with a bridge by Gable. Beautifully done. And a 2 count.
Strong arm German there. No jumping deadlift. Showing off the strength of Gable.
I would argue that Gable is one of the most pound-for-pound strongest athletes on the Raw roster.
No question.
Being very methodical here in his approach. Slow. Oh, man.
And let me just say, slight deviation here, but yesterday they were advertising all the people from Money in the Bank were going to be on SmackDown. I'm so glad they didn't do the traditional segment where everybody is just in the ring shit-talking. They strategically laddered them throughout the show so that it wasn't just like a great big fucking community meeting in the fucking ring all at once.
And for all the crap,
I was very well booked and everything.
For all the crap I'll give WWE, and I'm still going to give them the crap until the end of time, Triple H has actually made worthwhile gimmick matches matter with qualified opponents and strategic face-to-face encounters. Oh!
Jesus. Palm strike to the chest there from Vikingo.
Good grief. And now Vikingo, what the hell is he looking for here? And possibly Chad Gable, dreaming armbar. Can only hold that for a 5 count, though. But a lot of damage can be done here. Oof.
He has till 5.
Dreaming armbar, hyperextending the left arm of Hijo de Vikingo. And flying him, I got caught with a lung blower. Desperate counter there by Hijo de Vikingo. Both men down, JJ. I'm not sure who got the worst of that. There goes the replay. Ooh. I think Gale was looking for a diving headbutt.
There's the prize once again that both men are fighting for, the AAA Mega Championship.
An open palm strike and a vicious elbow here given by Chad Gable. El Hijo, rebound off the ropes. Oof. And jumping elbow takes Chad Gable down. Vikingo fighting his heart out for not only AAA, but for Lucha Libre culture. Of course, Octagón Jr., as we know, will be challenging Don Mysterio now later on at Money in the Bank tonight for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. And right now, El Hijo de Vikingo up to the top rope again. Chad Gable hung in a very precarious position. God! Springboard double stomp cover. Kick out at 2.5. Oof. Yeah, I'll give Chad Gable a lot of credit, JJ. That took a lot of will to kick out of this.
Yeah, definitely. Nice replay there.
And of course, you've seen Hijo de Vikingo a few times, JJ, so you know what he's capable of and what he's willing to do. Up and over, land on the apron. Catching Chad Gable with the enziguri again.
To an extent. To an extent.
And Hijo now on the outside second. Don't blink, JJ. Watch on! Cover! Two! No!
No. Vikingo's got frustration on his face. He's got to be wondering what it's going to take to put away this premier athlete.
Twisting 450. People chanting, this is awesome, and I agree. Irish whip reversal, Chad Gable, hand spring by Vikingo, caught by Chad Gable, attempted, what the hell? Then maybe for the transition up in, what the world? Niagara, oh! Transition to a dominant Niagara driver of sorts, kick out at 2. If I was looking for a Razor's Edge or a Gory Bomb. Gable reaching deep into his playbook, pulling out moves I haven't seen in a long damn time. And Gable might be looking to take
the top rope, possibly looking for that moonsault.
And possibly we saw the diving headbutt count earlier. Does Vikingo have a counter to this? Oh, Gable lands on his feet though. Since Vikingo was going to roll inside. Got the feet up just in time as Vikingo once again caught out the upswing of the ropes with a big right hand. What the hell? What on earth is Chad Gable thinking here? Chad Gable, Hijo de Vikingo, both men to the top rope. Chad Gable, good God! What the fuck? That's gotta be it! Cover that man! We got a new AAA, no! Inside sit-out powerbomb out of the corner. How the hell do you do that? Technical difficulties, folks. We'll be back here momentarily. What the hell, Gable? And Gable right now, of course, going back to what brought him to the dance in the first place, this sense of anxiety. He's just a luchador. He's just a luchador. I can beat him. Back elbow strikes now. And somehow staying in this match is Chad Gable and Vikingo for that matter. And one of the damnedest reverse problems I've ever seen. Now Chad Gable is stuck in between the ropes. A drop kick, taking down the apron. I hope that his internet's holding up. I'm sure we'll hear from Renegade Wrestling here momentarily. Right now, like Vikingo once again up on the ring post and the top corner. Chad Gable, vulnerable position. Oh my God! Oh my God! Mexican Destroyer on the apron. There is no way in hell Gable's going to get up from that. Get the man in the ring and pin him. God damn. First one's going to destroy the whole night, might I add. Cover 2. It's not over yet. 2 9/10. How the hell did he kick out of that, JJ? Welcome back, brother. Hello, JJ.
Hello.
Yep. There we go. All good, brother?
Yep.
Okay. Vikingo from the top, taken down to the floor. Gable again capitalizing, beating Vikingo to the punch or to the flight of move. And now setting, oh no, there's that table coming into play.
Yep, Gable setting him up on that table, going to the top rope here.
How did Gable survive that destroyer is beyond me as he's looking to destroy? You can't be serious. Gable, don't do this! Moonsault for that table!
The gasp and the look on some of the fans there at ringside, Noah.
Can you blame him? Freaking Falmouth's form, I need to look into its freaking architecture after this freaking match.
3, 4.
What?
Are we in sync?
4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
There we go. Good enough.
8.
Boy.
9. And both men back in at the final count.
Ooh, Jesus. I mean, what else can they do to each other? You just saw Vikingo deliver the damnedest destroyer I've seen in a while, and Chad Gable go to broke with a moonsault off the top rope for a table, and neither man is giving an inch.
I missed the destroyer during my little buffer there. Sorry about that. Hopefully I'll see it on the replays.
You're fine. We'll talk about their match. Just want to make sure you're okay, brother. You know that.
Yep.
Whoop. Rolling kick. Look at the ankle lock. Once more, middle of the ring, and he's got it really cinched in here, JJ. About to say how much it's been taken out of Hijo de Vikingo right now as he's trying to literally reach for the ropes any way he can.
But how much is Gable really putting on it with the way Vikingo targeted that shoulder earlier? He may not be getting as much twerk as he normally does.
Hey, I noticed the right hand was on that upper right bicep to your point. German suplex out of Hijo, lands on his feet, staggers though. Oh, catches Gable with the rolling kick. And Gable again, rods against the ropes. Hijo, though, slow to follow up, though. Looking to spring up the second again. Unable to, slowly transitioning and turning. Gable staggered, though. Oh, man, what a play, Dorado! Incredible. Fighting for AAA Lucha Libre, family pride, everything.
Meteora.
Now he might be looking to finally put Gable away from the top rope. In position. Six connects. For the Mega Championship, King of the King retains. That was incredible. Woo! Wow. What a match. It delivered on all fronts in the name of Lucha Libre and the highest caliber competition for a championship main event, JJ. Fucking incredible.
Can we please start putting some respect on Chad Gable's name now, please?
What else does Chad Gable need to prove? What else does Chad Gable need to do to show you he's a fucking main event player, WWE? Get your shit together. And somehow Vikingo through all the pain, JJ, that final emphatic 630 was all it wrote for Chad Gable's chances on winning the AAA Mega Championship. Insane revolution on that 630. Good God. A phenomenal way to celebrate this new partnership for decades to come as Lucha Libre continues to roll strong and proud at the Fabulous Forum. There you see the AAA Mega President, of course. And for all of us here at the Super Studios on the English commentary. For the Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams and Noah Foster, we'll see you literally in a few hours for Money in the Bank. This has been Worlds Collide. Hijo de Vikingo stands tall tonight, still AAA Mega Champion. Viva de Lucha Libre! Woo! That was fucking great.
Absolutely.
Well, that being said, again, folks, muchas gracias to you all tuning in. And again, please show love, particularly to our Spanish commentary team, Walter Cruz Dominguez, as we bring you up to date on what's ahead here, not just Money in the Bank, but JJ, we got so much more today. Before we see you in a few hours, why don't you go ahead and tell people the schedule?
Well, we've got Money in the Bank, of course, coming up in about an hour. Our coverage will begin with that, with our pre-show coverage. I believe the PLE officially starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, so our coverage will kick off 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. We've also got House of Glory's Puerto Rican Weekend. That'll be being covered by Walter Cruz and the He-Man James Hebert. After that, of course, the Saturday Shenanigans. Tomorrow, GCW double feature, but rather than me tell you guys all about it, why don't I just show you this?
And now for a taste of things to come.
And truly, here, as you see some of the logos we embrace here, not named AEW, but I love fucking AEW too. We love to celebrate, encompass, cover, embrace, react to all the wrestling. And with that being said, I don't think there's much more to be said besides that, JJ. Simple as that. To your point, guys, grab a snack, grab a drink, get ready, buckle up for Money in the Bank. We literally got about an hour before we go countdown. What?
Hey!
Hey! Hola, mi gente!
Okay, so we were about to sign off, Walter, but I heard you pop in. I just got to ask you, how did things go on our first ever Spanish language commentary stream with you and the Dominguezes?
It was fun as hell. It was funny. It was exciting. I had a lot of fun. The trying to say moves in Spanish is the most ridiculous shit. I just started saying them in English because I knew how to say them, but it just didn't sound right. It didn't roll off. So I was like, well, screw that. Like, I've never said rope so much in my life. Like, I would never ever. I could think I'd be 90 years old with dementia and still know how to say ropes in Spanish.
That's hilarious.
And
Well,
then
we've
Mike,
got some people like Sandy here who says that they're going to probably pop in either tomorrow or Monday and listen back to your stream in Spanish, but they were here for us in English today.
it was hilarious.
Came in there for a little bit and, said some stuff to y'all. Told
Yeah.
Mike to pop over there as well when he showed up here.
Yeah, Stat Boy popped in there. Your pops popped in there. Both speaking Spanish, ironically. That was hilarious.
I told them, dude, I was like, hey, we've got our first ever Spanish commentary stream going on there. Please go over there, show them some love and support. You can pop back here when you're done if you want.
Oh, my
Both
gosh.
of them know Spanish. Muy poquito. Enough to get by in random conversations,
Mhm.
but I don't know enough to be able to carry like a real conversation.
Yeah.
They do. So I was like, please go over there, show them love, show them support, and I knew both of them would. And then
Yeah.
Matthew popped over there briefly, I know, just to make sure you were still alive after Stephanie and Lola. When they did the double devil's kiss, which I called into fruition.
So did I.
I told Noah, I was like, dude, if they do that in stereo, Walter may literally kick the bucket.
Yeah, I said it in Spanish to the Dominguez's. I said, if they do a double devil's kiss, I'm going to lose my shit.
And sure enough, they did it. Noah's like, don't speak that into existence.
I knew they were going to do it.
But por qué? Why not? Like,
But we get to take a little break before the Puerto Rico one.
yes, the Puerto Rican weekend and Money in the Bank. We have a little bit less than an hour of break. So everybody take the opportunity, grab you something to drink, grab you something to snack on. No naps for you, sir. You're not going to wake up in 50 minutes. I know you. I'm going to have to hunt you down. Try calling you. Just go get you a couple of Mountain Dews and stay at your fucking computer, bro.
I can't believe they added. I knew they were. I kept saying this. Why the hell isn't Dominic Mysterio on the show? And they fuck around and add a Money in the Bank match. He has to defend his IC title now.
And I'm happy about that. Arlene pops in, says that she hopes that they did good. Mikey saying that they did great.
I'm going to be watching y'all at some point, yeah.
I'm not going to understand a word y'all fucking say, but I am going to try to at least watch a couple of matches, to see the chemistry and everything. But Arlene, if Statboy says you did good, if Walter's talking about how much fun y'all had, I trust my family.
Yeah.
I trust that you guys did well.
I'm so proud of my extended family becoming lovers and proprietors in storytelling and commentary. And again, JJ, internet be damned, you and I had a blast tonight too, and you did pretty well not knowing a lot about the AAA town outside, of course, the Pentagon, or Octagón.
We didn't know a lot about a lot of them either, but I mean, they did a really good job with the packages that showing it before each match.
Yeah, and talking about the history of AAA, and I'm sure it won't be the last time we say AAA or cover them, as you saw in that watch-along trailer. But yeah, before we waste any more time, let's go ahead and take a break. We'll see you guys in our double feature time for HLG and Money in the Bank in under an hour. Until then, muchas gracias for tuning in, and whether we see you there, Shenanigans, or somewhere else down the line, we are the Super Labo Studios. We love professional wrestling, Lucha Libre, damn it. For Walter Cruz, for JJ Williams, I'm Noah Foster, bidding you for now and adieu. Make a positive path in life. Have a good day or night. Cut the damn feed. We'll see you all later.